I don't know.
Won't go anywhere. I won't go anywhere.
I don't think it's.
I will call to order the regular city council meeting of August 4th, 2026 at exactly 6 p.m. Madam Clerk, will you do us the honor of a roll call, please?
Councilman Werner,
Here.
Councilman Gleason,
Present.
Councilwoman Leonard,
Present.
Vice Mayor Langowski,
Present.
Mayor O'Connor.
Present.
We have a quorum.
If you are able, please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Additions, deletions, or modifications to the agenda, we have one, and that would be swapping the location of item A and B. May I have a motion?
I'll move approval of the agenda as swapped by the mayor. Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Werner, seconded by Councilman Gleason. Roll call, Councilman Werner.
Yes. Yes.
Councilman Gleason,
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski,
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Now, just to keep the record clean, I will have a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll move approval of the agenda as amended. Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Werner, seconded by Councilman Gleason. Roll call, Councilman Gleason,
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski,
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilman Werner.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Excellent. Now I'm going to open for public comment. This section of the agenda allows for comments from the public to speak. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes to comment. A public comment card should have been completed and returned to the city clerk. It's okay if you didn't. When you are called to speak, please go to the podium and prior to addressing the council, state your name and address for the record. All public comments will be noted and may receive a response. Any follow-up will be handled by staff at a later time. This will not be your only opportunity for public comment. There will be plenty of opportunity after all of the presentations, but you are more than welcome to make a public comment at the beginning of the meeting. Madam Clerk, do we have any public comment cards?
Yes, we do, Mayor. First public comment card, we have Annie Rodriguez.
Ms. Rodriguez, please state your name and address for the record.
Annie Rodriguez Sapiro, 5991 Whippoorwill Circle. Good evening. I just want to set the tone from the beginning, and I'm sure this is going to come up again throughout. But about 2 meetings ago, there was the vote for the trash situation. You guys recall that? And during that time, those that came to the podium insisted that that was just an example of the lot that they chose. And I came up and I said, I felt like I was being gaslighted. We felt like we were being gaslighted, that we were very concerned about there being apartments there. And as I understand it now, maybe I'm wrong, but based on what I'm hearing, there will be apartments in that particular lot that was discussed at that time. So the reason I'm bringing this up now is because I honestly never felt like I ever want to leave Westlake. And I really felt deceived. I honestly have been so upset, deceived. I remember at that time, the only council person that spoke up about it was Council Werner. I call you Gary, forgive me. And here we are. Here we are. It's going to affect the aesthetics of our community. I'm from the hammock, so it's smack in my exit. The quality, the aesthetics, the quality of life. It's going to affect so many different things and the value of our homes because a lot of people are already even considering moving. In addition to the fact that having the entrance to our community be a rental building, I'm just hoping that today there's corrections made and we're all wrong. We wake up from a dream, a nightmare, and that we stand corrected. And I'm very upset that I felt misled. I just want to emphasize that. I truly felt misled. And then at that time, the board said nothing to contradict the fact that that was just an example. So I just wanted you guys to know that, and hopefully we'll discuss this throughout the night. Thank you very much.
No, you, please, thank you for your comment. I will say, thank you for your comment. I will say, just because I don't like staff to be disparaged, and I don't like, I will say that what was stated very clearly was that apartments were not on the agenda to be voted on that day. That is not what was in front of us. What was in front of us was a trash amendment. That is what was in front of us. And I will also, to set the tone, since day one, there has always been a residential component in the town center. Always. It was never going to be a residential component. Always, from the beginning. You have to have a residential component to support the future town center. They need density, or else the town center will never exist. But there's always been from day one. We'll have public comment at the end of it. Do we have any other comment cards?
We do, Mayor. We have Miss Anita Kaplan.
Ms. Kaplan? If you can, please state your name and address for the record.
Anita Kaplan, Chair of the Educational Advisory Board. My address is 5459 Santa Rosa Lane, Westlake. I have what I think is good news. Maybe I should have done it a little later when you needed more good news.
No, I welcome it now, but if you could maybe move the mic a little up.
A little bit closer.
Yeah.
Remember
that's
when
better.
we talked about zoning and the Educational Advisory Board developed a letter? And then you sent it out to the school district and we did get a response, but it was kind of, we'll take care of it, but they didn't identify any time. Well, this morning I got a call from Masha Andrews and she wanted to know if I'd serve on the zoning committee because they are really putting it together and going to do something.
Are we
So-
talking about the bus? What?
The zoning for the
bus
schools,
zones?
No,
boundaries, yeah.
Schools go.
Boundaries,
got
yeah.
it, okay.
Because we have, some schools that should be in Westlake and
course.
it's kind of mixed up out there.
Wonderful.
And then just before I came here, I got a call and I forget his name. I think it's Peter. Who was the name of the zoning man that came to one of our meetings? Does anybody remember his name? No, he's from the school district, but he's going to convene the group. And so he called right away and I thought that was a good sign that we're going to finally deal with that.
Excellent. Well,
So if you get any feedback from your constituents, please let us
course.
know.
and we will be well represented on that zoning
Okay.
board.
Thank you.
Dr. Kaplan.
Thank you.
Do we have any other public comment cards at this time, Madam Clerk?
We do. Miss Stormy Biven.
Ms. Bivin, please state your name and address for the record.
Stormy Biven, 16100 Key Biscayne Lane in Crestwind. I was not able to physically be here for the joint meeting that you just had with Sid.
We talked
But
about you.
I do believe that, yes, there was discussion about an item near and dear to my heart. And I did listen part of it, not the whole thing. But my understanding is your next joint meeting will be 6 months from now in February. And for the group that's here that doesn't know what I'm talking about,
Please. And if you
I'm
could just-
representing the Wellington Garden Club, and the Wellington Garden Club is sponsoring a Blue Star Memorial to be installed at our new civic park. This was brought before council November 1st of 24, but because of delays, et cetera, we keep moving it forward. It's my understanding from what I heard that maybe phase 1 has some things going on and there was talk of the memorial going in there.
You heard right.
So I would like to formally request that it be on the agenda for the February meeting, the February 4th joint meeting, because I believe Sid will be doing the installation of that memorial.
We gave direction today to include the memorial at one of the flagpole, look at the park plan, which for everybody in the audience, we received our appropriation finally from the state legislature. And I'll also say, since it's just the council, we had initially, it's a match situation. We got $600,000 from the state finally. And phase one has a 1.2 price tag. We had initially budgeted 600. I don't know how it happened, but we got away with getting Sid to agree
Yeah.
to split that with us today.
I heard that.
We just put 300 back into our budget for the record. So that being said, I actually have it here. This is all what phase one, our phase one, their phase two is gonna include. These two circles are going to be flagpoles. And what we discussed was to put your Blue Star Memorial in one of these two circles. Now, he's confident that they can have that done by July. By this next
Our
July,
next Fourth Fest.
before Fourth Fest.
There is a 6-month ordering,
Remember I mentioned the time?
24 weeks. Yes.
So it's what it takes. It's okay. We can kill that. We can kill it.
He stole some of my
Yeah,
time.
I certainly did. That's what they can't get it done any faster. They're hoping to have it by July. But as soon as we're physically able to put your memorial there, we're happy to. I mean,
By the way, the memorial is to honor all veterans that have served
it's
for
amazing.
the US.
And we're so grateful that you brought this forward. It's a wonderful project. So that is all the good news is we got the money.
Okay.
We got more money about 20 minutes ago and we have a place for it.
So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the application to the council so that we get it filled out. We get it, I believe the garden club itself has to send it in because we are paying for it. And even though they say allow 24 weeks, maybe that's just, they want to be extremely conservative. Maybe it gets here sooner.
Okay.
And I mean, if you're talking about Fourth Fest, we still, you're talking 4th of July. So
Yeah,
we've
but
got,
they
we've
hope-
got time, but
they-
we should
they
get
really
going on it.
hope To have all this completed
Okay.
by Fourth Fest.
Okay, so we have put it on the back burner, waiting for forward motion on the park, but it
We're
sounds
waiting
like,
for
right,
the doll hairs. We
right.
got it.
So it sounds like we're moving,
We're moving.
and I will go back to my garden club and I will say,
Thank you.
let's get it ordered.
Thank you for bringing that forward.
Okay?
I'm gonna-
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
While I have everybody listening too, some other good news, since there's no residential in the park location at all, they are going to create a safe way for kids and adults to fish at these 3 huge lakes, dedicated place for fishing, which should solve some of the fishing issues throughout the city and give a nice, passive, fun, enjoyable way for our kids to enjoy, fishing, which is great. So, yeah, yay over there. All right. Any other public comments?
Yes, Mayor. Mr. Bobby Farber.
Ms. Farber?
Will it have salmon?
Think you can have bass, maybe catfish?
Bobby Farber, 4829 St. Albans Way. Just bring this up real quickly. I haven't done it in a while. Streetlights, there's 2 out. That's it. We're lit. Looks great. There's a couple of blue ones. I just spoke to Zane prior to last meeting. And all the lights that are out on the west side, he's almost completed what he has to. We will light up the west side. And Seminole Pratt Whitney is just moving and moving and moving. It's in the county's hands, but Gary, it's going. All right, so hopefully sooner, better sooner than later. Now, for a little bit of clarity, I'm going to back up and some misinformation about the 9/11 ceremony and the 5K race that we're having. All right, so there's a little misinformation. I want to clear this up. The 9/11 first responder group, Remembrance First Responder Group. That's one word. That's one group. It's a HOA group. That a group that is here in the HOA within Westlake. So it's legitimate. It's not official, but it's legitimate. All right, some things were said, about, donations not going to Tunnel to Tower. Every donation goes through that QR code, 100% goes to Tunnel to Tower. A penny, a dollar, a check will never touch my hands.
Just for clarity, none of us said that, right?
None of you up there said that.
Okay.
So, I just want to make that clear. There is no tax benefit in it for me. Nothing will touch my hands.
I didn't think so.
And I also, some other things that were said that were, the city was funding this race. It was my race. So for clarity, this is the Westlake's 5K race. And they have aligned with the 9/11 Remembrance and First Responder Group, who is a proud supporter of Tunnel to Towers. Westlake supports that. So this is your race. I'm just a little speck that's in there that's working with you. And I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of that so that there is no more misinformation that's out there. And I look forward to the 5K. We are working diligently on it. Looks really good. Things are coming. We're going to have a great race. Ceremony will be right out here. And I hope to get all of Westlake there to support our first responders, our military, the lives lost at 9/11. And this is going to be something huge that's going to be for Westlake on an annual basis.
I'm excited for it, Mr. Farber.
Thank you very much.
Very excited for it. Thank you so much. Madam Clerk,
I have no additional public comment cards, Mayor.
anybody out there want to make a public comment? Please, sir, just if you could state your name and address for the record.
Certainly. Clarence Thomas, just call me Judge. 13969 Prickly Cone Cove. A couple of things. One, how do we get street lights changed? My neighbors and I went around and noted in the Pines, 25 street lights out. We took the numbers. We called and they said, oh, those aren't the correct numbers. It's been 6 months. Imagine 25 streetlights out. I need help with this. I've contacted Vesta and spoken to the HOA.
I'm gonna stop
And
you right there. You have the streetlight czar right there. His name's Bobby Farber. He's got everybody on speed dial. After the meeting, get with
Okay.
him and
That's right.
that guy. Oh, yeah.
okay,
He will help you. He will help you. He has helped us. He has gotten stuff done with streetlights that the city wasn't able to accomplish.
all right, thank you.
But that's your guy right there.
The other one is about the residential apartments. Are they going to be part of the master HOA?
Nope.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
they have their own.
they'll have their own amenities.
Access to our amenity. And there will be a whole presentation on that project because it's coming in front of us today. So I would sit tight for that because
Okay.
a lot of your questions may get answered.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks, Judge. Any other, please, come on up. Just state your name and address for the record, please.
Donna Peters, 5986 Whippoorwill Circle. My question is, in the supplement that we get, that's a newspaper that comes out for all the different communities, it mentioned about some building of a, it sounds like some sort of facility that would be a basketball center or some kind of a sports center. They refer to it, I can't think what they refer to it as. Huh?
Field house.
A field house. I think of a field house. I think of a field house. I'm from Wisconsin. That's where they
Understood.
play basketball in and did wrestling. What is the purpose of the field house?
So that's an HOA amenity. It's not the city who's doing that.
Oh,
That's Minto, who is building a second amenity. And they had some public input charrettes and decided to build this amenity, which has, I believe, an additional playground
mhm.
and sports fields.
Okay.
For kid-
Well, aren't we supposed to
and a
have
dog
soccer?
park and that's going over there closer to the Pines.
Oh,
It's on the agenda.
So it's on the agenda tonight. Oh, sit tight. There's a whole presentation on it.
okay. Another question.
Thank you for
Another
that, Vice
question.
Mayor.
Does that plan for the park as I'm always bringing this up, does that include the building of the tennis courts and the pickleball courts?
Tennis and pickleball
Thank
is
you.
included
Finally,
in the plans for the park, but not in phase one.
oh,
For the
gosh.
record, phase one
Ugh.
only gets us basically the parking lot, and that's got a $1.2
Ooh.
million price tag on it.
Wow.
We got
Parking
half
lot.
that from the state. We managed to get half of that from Sid. So this is what
Maybe
we'll get
more.
first.
It's important.
So phase one is from what date to what date?
Phase one, they're hoping to have complete by July of next year.
Oh, 27. So phase two doesn't even start until after July of 27
Most
to the
likely.
following year?
Most likely.
Oh, gosh.
We have to go beg for more money.
Yes, I thought you just got a bunch of money that was supposed to pay for this.
$600,000. The price tag on the whole park is $12 million.
Oh, okay.
So
And then there was one other question. No, I can't remember what it was. Oh, I haven't seen the trucks, 2 council meetings or maybe 3. They said that Walmart was going to start in July.
they've
Big and dirt.
started
Where are they?
they've started construction.
Where are they?
They're out there.
Where are
They're moving dirt
Can you
around.
tell me where they are? I know
Yes,
Lowe's.
if you know where Publix is,
Yeah,
you're staring at Publix.
okay.
There's a lot of land to the right of that.
It-
That's where it's gonna go.
So to the right of Publix. So
Yeah,
it
if you're
would be on
looking
the-
at Publix's front door,
It's where
look
Padel Excel is.
way over there.
Where Padel Excel, the end by Padel Excel is
Further right.
further down, farther north.
Yeah, it's all.
Yes,
the-
Okay, and you say they've started digging?
Yeah, there's tractors out there moving dirt around now.
Okay, what about Lowe's?
Same. Well, they're doing groundwork. We only can do one public comment per person at this time. You'll have to wait till the next set of public comment. Does anybody else want a public comment? You just can't. Okay. No? All right, let's get started. Public hearing. This is quasi judicial, SPR 2025-07. The applicant is requesting what, I can't. We did that already. The applicant is requesting site plan approval for 6.64 acre site located southern corner of Town Center Parkway. That was
last meeting.
Councilman. I'm gonna need you to wait to be recognized because
City clerk.
that was the LPA meeting. This is now the council meeting. We have to do it again. Okay,
Consent agenda was not.
Didn't do the consent
we
agenda.
did do consent.
That was the last meeting.
Oh, I apologize. I'm sorry. Section of the agenda consists of routine administrative items that require final approval by city council and may be approved in its entirety by single motion. There will be no discussion of these items unless council member requests such, in which event there will be, the item will be removed and considered on a future agenda. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, please? And I sincerely apologize.
I'll move approval of the consent agenda that includes 2 sets of minutes on June 30th, July 14th, and the monthly financial statement.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Werner, seconded by Councilman Gleason. Roll call. Councilwoman Leonard,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilman Werner,
Yes.
Councilman Gleason.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
The applicant is requesting site plan approval for 6.64 acre site located at the southern corner of Town Center Parkway and Riverbend Road. This is item SPR 2025-07. It is quasi judicial. Can I have a presentation from P and Z, please?
All those individuals going to testify during the course of this particular application stand, be sworn, solemnly swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Please proceed.
I will ask that we now disclose any ex parte
Correct.
communication just with staff and the applicant.
Staff.
None.
I had discussions with the applicant.
Okay. Please carry on.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. For the record, Santiago Cliffs, planner for the city of Westlake. Before you, SPR 2025-07, Westlake Fieldhouse Site Plan Review. The applicant is requesting an approval for site plan review for the neighborhood park known as Westlake Fieldhouse, located in the southern corner of Town Center Parkway and Riverbend Road. And here's the location of Westlake Fieldhouse. Here's the subject site. The subject site has a total gross site area of 6.64 acres, a future land use of residential 2, and a zoning of R2. A little background, on June 20, 2023, the subject property was platted as Part B2 and designated for a neighborhood park to serve the surrounding residential community. As mentioned previously, the applicant is requesting approval of the site plan for parcel B2. The proposed site plan includes a 3,900 square foot building for a neighborhood park. This neighborhood park contains a dog park, a pie-much play area with children play equipment, an open recreation lawn, artificial turf area, shaded structures, landscape berms, and support infrastructure. In addition, the applicant is opting to contribute 1% of the building construction cost to the Art Acquisitions Fund per ordinance 2021-22. And here's the proposed site plan. As mentioned, it's a 3,900 square foot building outlined in red on the image, and 1,300 square foot covered patio. This neighborhood park features the dog park outlined in brown, a pie-much play area with children play equipment, which is outlined in yellow, an open recreation lawn, which is outlined in green, artificial turf area, shaded structures, landscape berms, fruit truck drop-off area. It also includes a sidewalk connectivity with the multimodal pathway, 8 golf cart parking spaces, and a bicycle rack. Here's the vehicular and pedestrian access. There is 1 pedestrian access in Town Center Parkway, 3 in Riverbend Road, and 2 vehicular access in Riverbend Road. The subject application was reviewed in compliance with the zoning code for residential 2 zoning district. And if you notice in the parking, there is no required parking space. There is no specific parking area established in the city's land development regulation for neighborhood parks or private neighborhood amenities. The parking was evaluated based on the proposed use, operation characteristics, anticipated demand, and the applicant's parking justification. The proposed parking includes 50 regular parking spaces, 8 golf cart parking spaces, and 16 bicycle spaces. Based on staff findings, based on the applicant's parking justification and the neighborhood saving nature of the facility, the proposed parking supply is adequate, subject to the facility being operated as a private neighborhood amenity and reservation programming being managed so that the parking demand does not exceed the available on-site supply. And here's the architectural elevations, the south elevation and the north elevation. And here's the east and west elevation,
Square feet is this building?
3,900. The landscape and drainage is in compliance with City Code and was reviewed. It was also reviewed by fire safety for Palm Beach County Fire and Rescue. In addition, the proposed site plan application is in compliance with Westlake Ordinance Development Order. The Planning and Zoning Engineering Department recommends the following conditions of approval. The first one is the applicant shall contribute 1% of the building construction cost of parcel B2 to the City of Westlake Art Acquisitions Fund prior to building permit issuance. The second condition is the Westlake Fieldhouse shall be operated as a private neighborhood amenity. Facility and reservation programming shall be managed by the Master Association in a manner that the parking demand does not exceed the available on-site parking supply. Is there any questions for staff?
Is there a applicant presentation as well? Do you mind if we wait? Just,
Yeah.
my question may get answered, so.
Yeah, mine too.
We're gonna hear from the applicant before we do questions. State your name and address for the record, please, sir.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. For the record, Donaldson Hearing here today on behalf of Minto PBLH LLC. With me this evening is Tara Dewey with Lewis Longman and Walker, General Counsel for Minto and the Westlake project. All right, I'll talk a little louder. So really excited to present this. Any of you who follow Minto realize that when they build something like the lodge here, and the amenity here with the adventure park. And the amenity that we've been working on right here is that so much time and energy and intentionality goes into every single aspect of the design, including the name Fieldhouse. I mean, there's a lot, so much. We've met on this probably once a week for almost 2 years. There's been significant public input from the residents of Westlake who've actually informed the design. So this is truly, what we feel is a community design. And Minto has done a wonderful job working with an amazing team to get us to this point. So the site's located on the east side of River Bend, right just south of Town Center Parkway. And it's on the west side of the Pines. And this particular site, just so you know, is something that Minto added to the plan. And it was not one of the original park areas. We always saw some sort of a park on the south side of River Bend, at the corner of Persimmon and River Bend. In fact, there's a passive park that was created as a part of the Oaks that's there. But this was something that was added to complement the adventure park, not to be the same as, but to complement and to provide another alternative for the residents of Westlake. So it's very, very well thought out, and it's really community inspired. A lot of additions. We got multi-purpose building, which is the field house. There's an outside component to that and an inside component. The architecture is stunning. Lots of glass, lots of open space, a lot of thought play that went into that. A lot of areas for kids. We've got 3 dog parks, covered outdoor areas, multi-purpose areas. So really a multi-use element, which hopefully gets used at all times. And the interconnectivity with the pedestrian system and the multimodal paths are very, very important to this. So a lot of connections, a lot of permeability from the outside, from all of the communities. So here's the of the park on the screen here, a little bit over 1.5 acres inside, right at the corner of Riverbend and Town Center. And located to the west of the Pines, which you see there. So very, very nice layout. I'll drill into it. The vehicular access is off of Riverbend, but we have multimodal access off of Town Center, off of Riverbend, and a pathway that literally runs all the way around this particular park, 100% around the perimeter of the park, as you'll see as we move into it. So again, here's the location into a bigger context. So it will serve a lot of residents within the Westlake community. As staff pointed out, this is R2 land use, R2 zoning. So recreational amenities are consistent with that. There's a 2,573 square feet of air-conditioned space. And then we have about 1,380 square feet of covered outdoor space. There's a large covered outdoor patio that overlooks all of the space where you could have an outdoor event and watch the kids playing, or of all ages playing in the open space. A lot of open space parking. We have 50 standard spaces, 8 golf course spaces, but of course golf carts can park anywhere, and there's certainly plenty of green space for golf carts to park all over if there were more. A lot of open space. About 80% of the site is open space as it exists. So this, as we start to zoom in on the site, so I've changed the orientation. So the east is generally to the top of the page, and I'll walk through each of the elements. You can see the multimodal path that runs through the Rural Parkway that fronts on both Town Center Parkway and on River Bend. And then I'll walk through each of the elements. The field house sits in the middle, kind of in the center of the arch, and it's set at a juxtaposition. It's not square to the parking by design. In terms of the way you experience the site, everything has been thought out about how you, approach this building, how you interact with it visually and then functionally as well. On the right-hand side or the south side of the site, there's a large multipurpose play area. The kids area is generally located in the center by the field house. And I'll go through those elements. And then on the north side of the site is our dog park, 3 dog parks with some berms, intended to be a very, very fun space to go in. So I'll start first. These are the dog parks. There is shade structures associated with these dog parks. So there's big dogs, little dogs, but also the opportunity to sit down, sit on a bench and have shade. So the shade structures are the squares in the middle of it. And they're designed to be shared. So if you can see the line that goes close down the center of the dog park that's closest to us, that shade structure is shared with the dog park in the center, and the same thing with the dog park to the north. So large, medium, small dogs, lots of fun that's there. And then in the center of the site is really where we have all the play areas. We have an area for smaller children, and then we have an area which I'll show you, which is, not for the typical structured play. We've tried to make it a little bit of fun. The type of play equipment there is really to, capture the imagination of the child so that it's more inspired, not just a playground setting. And so I'll walk you through that. There's a shade structure that separates the multipurpose field with the generally the children's play area, and then in the middle there, that square, that box is the field house. The lodge, or similar to a lodge, it's a field house, has restrooms and other facilities on the inside of it. But let me first walk you through some of the play elements. So this is the play elements that are inside the for kind of the older kids. Just little mounds, little slide areas, things that are very different. And the large trees in there, believe it or not, we're planting some large banyan trees. Ficus bangladensis. So if you've been to the Jupiter Lighthouse and see the big giant banyan that Roy Root planted, 75 years ago, it's spectacular. So we really see over time that with the outdoor porch, this being one giant outdoor room, right? Shaded and fun and full. So there's a vision. As landscape architects, we're optimistic because we're looking what it's going to be, not just what it's going to be when it's first done, what it's going to be in the future. So a lot of fun area. And then we have a tot lot with some shade sails for the smaller kids, which is over to the right that's there. And so we would have more of the traditional tot lot type of equipment within that particular area. And then this is the field house, just so you could, understand the size of it. We have restrooms, there's some meeting and prep rooms, some storage closets, and a large multi-purpose room, and then a very large outdoor patio. And you saw the elevations. That east and north side is predominantly all glass. So in addition to it being very creatively designed, it's also been designed for sustainability. So on the west side where the sun hits it, there's less windows. And on the north side where we can have light, we're taking advantage of that natural light and that beautiful view out onto the field house, which someday I look forward to seeing those giant banyan trees sitting underneath that porch. So these are the elevations. Colors are very, very nice. Materials are very nice. Most materials are stucco and various simulated stone stucco. There's some materials for some softness. It's not real wood, but it's a wood-like look or material that's being used under some eaves. But again, just to provide that softness, making it feel still very, very light and fresh, but also very, very warm. So you're looking here at the west elevation. And remember, when you approach this building, it's at an angle. So you'll visualize it the way our design team has, wants you to see it when you first approach it. Very, very nice. You'll go in and then you'll see the beautiful expansive glass around the parapet, or the clear story, as we might say, that then slopes up to the north. That's all the way around, 3 sides of the building. So very, very spectacular. The north side, more glass. You see the clear story above the covered patio, and then the glass face down below. And then again, that's the elevation of the west side. And then this is the kind of the east side of the building. You see the covered patio is on this side, but virtually all of that is glass. So really, really well done. And so we're excited. I know Minto spent a lot of time working with contractors and designers to get this here and then working with the community as well. So that's pretty much our presentation. Very, very excited. Look forward to another great amenity in the city of Westlake. Happy to answer any questions that you have.
Don, how long does it take to complete a project like this?
I would think it's 10, 12
A
months.
year?
Yeah, 10, 12 months. Maybe not quite that, but by the time we get permits
Does this
and
get
everything
2
else.
readings?
Pardon?
Does this get 2 readings?
No, this is just tonight.
So roughly a year
Yeah.
from now.
So we're super excited.
Amazing. What's the storage bottom right? This is storage.
It's just a storage facility,
What are you storing in there?
materials for, for play to support all about supporting the amenity.
And my only other question, the field house itself, not counting the patio, was what, 2,800?
20, yeah, about 2,800 and the patio is 1,800
Just
square feet.
for perspective, what's the lodge, more or less?
I don't have that. I think the lodge is probably a little bit bigger.
Like twice the size?
No, not twice the size.
Just a little
Probably a
larger.
little bit bigger.
Okay.
I mean, it's a nice size. That's a good sized building. So think of a
Yeah.
3,500 square foot house.
Right.
I mean, that's a big structure. That's the volume. You got the large volumetric.
Vice Mayor, do you have any questions for the applicant?
No, I've had meetings with Don, but also staff to go through everything.
Councilman Warner, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Herring, did you not see any need for bicycle racks?
There's bicycle racks on the site.
Because it wasn't shown.
Yeah, there's definitely bicycle racks on the
Okay.
site. Absolutely.
Neighborhood park should have.
No, we've got lots of bicycle racks. I believe the bicycle racks are the white. I can back up here. The white, I don't know if that's oops. Yeah, I don't know. Does that, yeah. So I think these are the bike racks right there.
Okay.
Yeah, we absolutely have bike racks.
Any other questions, Mr. Warner?
No.
Councilman Gleason?
Any security features?
I know everything is very, very well lit. So we've illuminated things very, very well. I know SEPTED principles have been integrated into our design. I don't know if cameras would be a part of the system. I can find out and let you know.
Okay.
This is, I don't believe that this is intended for grilling. I know that there's areas where you could bring and have prep. But it's not intended to be a cooking type park. But you could certainly have an event. You could bring grills, you could bring barbecues. I mean, the HOA could do, almost anything there.
Could be a food truck.
Absolutely. In fact, Mr. Warner, thank you very much for this area right here in the front, sir, is for food trucks. So we absolutely expect that type of activity to occur.
Councilman Leonard?
All right, Mr. Herring, when I meet here once a month with a group at about 7 o'clock in the morning, and the sunlight, not in this room, in the next room, is usually shining in and we're all ducking and trying to get out of the sunlight. So I'm not sure of the positioning of the building, but I just wanted to make a point.
Right.
If you all just can consider which
They-
way the sun is coming in.
They absolutely did. And there's very large overhangs, which, this building doesn't have quite the same overhang.
Okay, got it.
Good point, though.
With these little avocado shaped dog parks, are they individually fenced?
Yes, because you could have large dogs, big dogs and medium-sized dogs. Yeah, so they're all individually fenced. There's little walkways that bring you out to the little shade structures.
Thank
Very
you for the
nicely done.
shade over the top lot. That's a huge deal.
Yes, and then ultimately those big banyan trees. There's other gumbo limbo trees and other natives, but the banyans are.
Do any of my colleagues have any questions for the applicant or P and Z? I'm gonna open up the public hearing for this item. Do we have any public comment cards?
We have no comment cards, Mayor.
Is there anybody from the public who would like to make a comment on this new amenity called Field House? Got to come up and state your name and address for the record. Anybody else? No? Okay, I will close the public hearing and ask for a motion.
Make a motion to approve SPR 2025-07.
Second.
Subject to the conditions stated by staff.
We have a motion by Councilman Gleason, seconded by Councilman Werner. Roll call, Vice Mayor Langowski,
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilman Werner,
Yes.
Councilman Gleason,
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Applicant is requesting approval of master site plan establishing the overall development for parcel L, mixed use development consisting of 3 development parcels.
All those individuals to testify, please stand and be sworn. You solemnly swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Please proceed.
Let's disclose ex parte communication on the Avery.
I have.
I have to.
Yes.
No, not even staff?
Nope.
Okay. Please carry on.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. For the record, my name is Sarah Colon, planner for the city of Westlake. Before you is application MP 2026-01 for master site plan of parcel L and site plan for parcel L3. Parcel L is located just across Kingfisher Boulevard from where we are now, north of Town Center Parkway south of Town Center Parkway north, west of Kingfisher Boulevard, and east of Seminole Pratt Whitney Road. The applicant is requesting approval of a master site plan establishing the overall development for parcel L, a 66.9 acre mixed-use development consisting of 3 development parcels. Parcel L1 is a 4.7 acre parcel containing the existing Westlake Sales Center. Parcel L2, a just over 44 acre future mixed-use commercial parcel. And parcel L3, an 18 acre multifamily residential development parcel. Concurrently, the applicant is requesting site plan approval for parcel L3, including 360 unit multifamily residential community to be known as the Avery of Westlake. On the screen here is the master site plan for parcel L, where you can see parcel L1, L2, and L3, totaling just under 67 acres. And on the far right, or the eastern portion of this overall parcel, is parcel L3, which is 18 acres, where the proposed site plan is proposing 360 multifamily dwelling units contained within 6 4-story residential buildings and 2 3-story residential buildings, a 8,969 square foot clubhouse, 12 detached garage buildings, and other recreational amenities and site improvements. The subject site has a future land use designation of downtown mixed use and is within the town center zoning district. Some background on the property. Back in November of 2016, parcel L was platted, and also special use permit application SPEC 2016-01 was approved with conditions to allow for the construction of the temporary visitor and sales center. Skipping forward to October of 2018, there was a parcel split request for the sales center subdivision. And then in 2019, in November, the parcel L temporary dog park was approved, where the subject site, the Avery of Westlake, will be located. To reiterate, the applicant is requesting approval of a master site plan establishing the overall development for parcel L, as well as the site plan for parcel L3 containing 360 new multifamily residential units. In conjunction with the site plan for parcel L3, the applicant is requesting 3 waivers related to city off-street parking and bicycle parking requirements. The first waiver is from Chapter 111, Section 111-192B, to reduce the required off-street parking from 708 spaces to 664 spaces. Should the City Council determine that these operational and safeguards and contingency measures proposed by the applicant adequately address the intent of the City of Parking Regulations, and staff recommends conditions of approval to ensure that the parking supply will adequately serve the parking demand. The second waiver is also from Chapter 111, Section 111(1.2b, to reduce the required parking from 708 spaces to 703 spaces under a proposed contingency parking exhibit should it be implemented in the future. Staff finds the applicant's waiver request reasonable, representing a deviation of less than 1% of the total required parking per the city's land development regulations. And the third waiver is from Chapter 111, Section 111(227), to reduce the required bicycle parking from 180 spaces to 98 spaces. Since the site has been designed to accommodate the full code required bicycle parking supply, staff recommends that all required bicycle parking spaces be installed at the time of construction. Before you is the proposed site plan. Highlighted in a dark blue, you'll see all of the residential buildings are highlighted in dark blue. 6 4-story buildings towards the center of the site. And then there are 2 3-story residential buildings on the far north and far south of the site, totaling 360 units. A just under 9,000 square foot clubhouse is in the center of the site, also containing a community pool, 2 pickleball courts to the south of the site. A dog park and playground and multiple pavilions are included within the site plan, as well as a maintenance building and a trash compactor. A total of 664 parking spaces are proposed, 72 of which are contained within 12 detached garage buildings dispersed throughout the site. There are also 14 electric vehicle charging stations within that total count. 98 bicycle parking spaces are proposed to be constructed, but also indicated on the site plan are 82 reserved bicycle parking spaces to be constructed at a later date should parking demand warrant. One other feature of the site plan are paver crosswalks incorporated throughout.
What kind of crosswalks?
Paver.
Pay.
Yes. On that note, there are 3 points of access to the site. The main access would be from Kingfisher Boulevard, just across from where we are now. And there are 2 exit only / emergency accesses one from Town Center Parkway South and one from Town Center Parkway North. These 3 access points have both vehicular and pedestrian access. There are also 2 additional pedestrian accesses, one from Town Center Parkway South and one from Town Center Parkway North. And there are 4 future pedestrian accesses that will connect to the future parcel L2 mixed use parcel. There are multiple recreational opportunities throughout the site shown here. This graphic is a summary of the locations of the clubhouse, the dog park, playground, and other amenities. As part of this application, the applicant has provided a contingency parking exhibit to mitigate parking concerns and potentially to be implemented in the future. This contingency parking exhibit provides 39 additional parking spaces, totaling 703 parking spaces. In order to accommodate those spaces, the proposed pickleball courts would have to be removed and the overall open space would be reduced. The following table presents compliance with the comprehensive plan objectives and policies applicable to this development, such as housing element objective HE 1.1 to provide adequate sites for diversity of housing types and affordability levels to accommodate the current and future housing needs of all city residents. Given that the current housing supply contains single-family detached and attached homes, The proposed development would provide multifamily residential development and additional housing type supporting objective HE 1.1. Additionally, future land use element policy FLU 1.1.15 indicates a minimum density of 4 dwelling units per acre and a maximum density of 16 dwelling units per acre. The proposed density for the site is 5.3 dwelling units per acre overall. The same policy regulates the mixture of uses within the downtown mixed-use land use category. A minimum 5% and maximum 25% of the land within this future land use category can be used for residential use. The proposed development equates to 3% of that land area. And when combining the terraces of Westlake and that, you have the total residential land area of 10.1%, falling between the minimum and maximum values in compliance with this policy. Finally, recreation and open space element policy REC 1.1.4 requires 2 acres per 1,000 residents per neighborhood park. That would equate to 1.944 acres. The site plan proposes 2.868 acres, and the contingency parking exhibit proposes 2.16 acres, both in compliance with policy REC 1.1.4. Following table presents compliance with applicable zoning code for the town center zoning district. All setbacks, building height, lot coverage, open space, and so forth are in compliance, and they have submitted 3 waiver requests related to parking for bicycles and vehicles. We have some architectural elevations that were preliminary provided to staff, but I understand that the applicant has provided some modified elevations that they will present after staff's presentation. So I'll move on through these slides and let them explain those. As far as landscape review, the preliminary landscape plan has been reviewed and is in compliance with city code. Comments and actions might be forthcoming at the time of full landscape permit review. According to the drainage statement, on-site runoff will be directed to on-site inlets and storm sewer and connected to the master drainage system for water quality treatment and attenuation. Legal positive outflow is available via connection to the master drainage system, which discharges to the SID canal system. Site plan, water management plan, and the plat have been closely coordinated with SID. The site plan has been reviewed by Mr. Wesley Jolin from Palm Beach County Fire Rescue with no comments. The total trips projected for this application do not exceed the approved trips for the development order. Additionally, the city received the school capacity availability determination, or SCAD letter, from the School District of Palm Beach County dated May 21st, 2026, including no required conditions of approval. Based on the facts and findings contained herein, the above referenced application meets the required City of Westlake land development regulations. Staff has concerns regarding the long-term operation of detached garages counted towards minimum required parking supply in conjunction with the requested parking waiver. Nonetheless, the planning and zoning engineering departments recommend the following conditions of approval. The first condition of approval is prior to issuance of building permits, the applicant shall obtain all approvals necessary to establish parcel L3 as a legal development parcel consistent with the approved master site plan, whether by plat, replat, minor subdivision, or other method acceptable to the city attorney, city engineer, and planning and zoning department. Second condition of approval is solid waste collection for the development shall be provided through a commercial service agreement with the city's franchise solid waste hauler, unless otherwise approved by the city. All refuse and recycling facilities shall be maintained in accordance with the approved parcel L3 site plan and applicable provisions of the City of Westlake Land Development Regulations and Code of Ordinances. The third condition of approval is detached garage spaces counted toward the minimum required parking supply shall be shall
Stand by, please. Please enjoy this music.
Can you hear me? Beautiful. All right, I will begin that condition of approval for the record. Detached garages spaces counted toward the minimum required parking supply shall be reserved exclusively for residents of the development and shall not be leased, assigned, sold, or otherwise made available to non-residents. Detached garages shall be utilized for vehicle parking and shall not be solely used for storage purposes. Should the city determine that the development is experiencing parking deficiencies or that the available parking supply is inadequate to serve the parking demand generated by the development, the property owner shall submit a parking management plan for city review and approval, identifying reasonable corrective measures to address the deficiency. Such measures may include operational modifications, management practices, implementation of the approved contingency parking exhibit, or other reasonable actions acceptable to the city. The approved contingency parking exhibit shall be maintained as a part of the approved master site plan and shall remain available for future implementation should the city determine that additional parking is necessary to adequately serve the development. The fourth condition, upon approval of a site plan for parcel L2, the property owner shall install the 4 pedestrian gates along the western boundary of parcel L3 as depicted on the approved site plan. Thank you. And again, I understand that the applicant has a presentation for the architecture.
Yeah, real quick before we do, I just have 2 super quick questions.
Of course.
Why the only waiver you recommended not approving was the bicycles? Why do we want the bike spaces so, why do we want those so bad?
Sure.
I'm just curious.
So that is a requirement by code, and there are no justification of why the space is there, it's available, and it's just the choosing of not installing it.
State your name for the record,
For the
please.
record, it's nearly on city planning for the city of Westlake.
So, but that's the hill that you're dying on, is the bike racks.
There are no justifiable justification of not installing them. The code requires that, so that's the staff recommendation.
Okay. Before we see the applicant's presentation, does any of my colleagues have?
Yeah.
Councilman Werner, you recognize?
Thank you. On, I forget which slide it was, but you showed the fire rescue comment, was no comment, or said no further comments. What were their comments before, and are there fire hydrants on the site?
There are fire hydrants on the site. They're on the north portion of the site. And again, they're part of every application. It goes through a fire review and then they give us, they work with the applicant with comments, and then they pose that they have no further comments, and that's how we are able to move the application forward after they give us the no comments.
The condition of approval number 3,
Mhm.
can you go back to that slide?
With the parking?
Bicycle racks.
Well, B is what I was going to focus on right at this moment. The approved contingency parking exhibit, that's if the city finds that there's insufficient parking. This is after 3 years after it's built and leased up and occupied, not enough parking. So the city, what would be the way that the city goes about telling the owner, you need to change your parking and implement the contingency plan? How do you do that?
Well, the city will contact the property owner if the city sees there's a parking deficiency based on resident complaints, impacts in the surrounding area. Code enforcement is called to the site The city will identify if there's a parking deficiency, will contact the property owner, and based on the development approval, the property owner will need to implement the parking contingency plan.
Okay, so in the event that the contingency plan is implemented, then the site will lose pickleball, dog park, it'll lose amenities, right?
Based on the contingency plans, yeah, some of the open spaces will need to be changed to accommodate more parking spaces, so the open spaces will be reduced.
So people that rented there with the understanding they'll have pickleball may end up not having pickleball.
Do we have the contingency plans? As part of your packet, the contingency plans list actually the designated areas where the parking will go. Not sure if we included them in the,
Pickleball,
oh, here you go.
The two green spaces.
So there are green spaces, they're not. See the pickleballs that were we lost.
There's an earlier slide.
pickleball and reduction of open space.
Yeah, it's open space, not
Okay.
pickable.
Sorry, go ahead.
So a question for our attorney is condition 3B, where the city is to tell the owner that the parking is insufficient, is that a reasonable mechanism?
It's a difficult mechanism to enforce. We would have to get a concession or an agreement from the developer at time of approval.
When do we get a concession, now or later on?
We can get it this evening.
Okay, what would that concession be?
We would have to negotiate that.
Write it out.
Okay. Okay, that's, I have other questions.
Could you go back, actually go back to the condition? Because this is what I don't like. The conditions language is so vague, it allows for all these other things that are never gonna work, right? So, no, the parking one, not final remarks, conditions of approval.
There,
Here we go. So identifying reasonable corrective measures, right? That's super vague.
right,
Operational modifications, management practices, none of that actually works in the real world.
Oh.
What that should say is, should the city determine that the development is experiencing parking deficiencies, applicant or development will convert pickleball to parking to cure deficiency.
or implement the contingency plan.
Period.
Yeah.
Not all these other things that they'll be able to say, we did this.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That didn't work. We did this, and now you're 3 years later.
Right,
Or even come to a suggestion where we don't think it is a problem, but the city
Right.
thinks, and then we're in a battle.
Yeah.
I really have an issue with that language, personally.
And Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
give some thought to who constitutes a city.
Say that again?
Who would constitute the city? City manager, city council?
Right, we would have to be some
Would it come back?
some
before the-
measurable thing, something that's clearly measurable.
And
X amount of
to your
complaints.
point,
procedural.
Uh,
Does it go to the manager?
X amount of nuisance complaint, you know, so
well, to your point, also, it should not be arbitrary.
that's my point. Right there, you said it better. Yeah, I do take issue with that, because in real life, that's never gonna.
Well, and then when you look at number 4, it says the property owner shall install 4 pedestrian gates along the western boundary. Is that the property owner of L2? Or is that the property owner of L3?
Property owner of L3,
I
the
actually
multifamily.
did have a question. I was gonna save it, but why wait on those? Why not do them?
Exactly.
Okay. All right, well, let's let the applicant.
Yeah, that's fine.
Unless any other comments or questions from council?
I submitted questions and it's probably in the next presentation.
Okay.
So my question is regarding parking as well. Isn't there a required number of parking
Right,
spaces
they're asking for a
per?
waiver.
Okay, but what is that?
708.
And we're reducing it down to 690.
Yes,
Which
44
is less than 1%.
efficient.
I like the percentage.
But
But yeah,
that's
40
the contingency plan. That's not the original plan, right?
No, that's 44 spaces is the request.
Yeah.
44.
I would want that language.
5 with a contingency.
Black and white. Okay. Because that we can enforce.
Right.
Yeah. Thanks. Well, that's right.
Not all that fluff.
Sorry.
No.
It's just-
Are you ready?
Ready?
I'm not the one you're looking for, but I always like to set the stage. So you get me first. Tara Dewey, Lewis Lawman and Walker, on behalf of the applicant Minto PBLH LLC. We are excited to bring you this application tonight, but just for, like I like to do, set the legal table for what is before you and the standards that apply. First, as your staff has wonderfully set forth in their application, the apartment use is permitted by right under both the future land use category over this property and the zoning category. As you all well know, site plan review is conducted by staff to review an application against code requirements. And once that is determined that we have met the code requirements, which we have, save for the variances, and the waivers, I'll get to that. The burden to show that we do not meet code requirements would shift to the city. As to the waivers, we have provided justification and conditions of approval, which we believe protect the city and meet the spirit of the code, including the waiver provisions. And therefore, we believe we met the code with regard to those requests as well. And with that, I will let the man of the hour who has the pretty pictures and the answers to the questions get to it. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Tara. For the record, Donaldson Hearing here tonight on behalf of Minto PBLH LLC and East Wind Development. And so East Wind Development is the developer, ultimately would be contract purchaser and would develop. And with me this evening is Mr. Jack Weir with East Wind Development. I'm honored to tell you I've worked with Jack for 25 years plus. Completed many successful projects, even went in on projects that were defunct, and we figured out a way to go in and revive these projects back after, the 2010, 2008 downturn. And we did a beautiful job, and Jack has a wonderful resume and delivers a wonderful project. So we really an asset, lives here in Palm Beach Gardens, and a great asset, for this development team. So this is the overall site. I'll first talk about parcel L, and then I'll get into the more details of the site plan that's associated with the 18-acre parcel. So we'll start there. This is the parcel L site right here. As pointed out by staff, this site is about just under 67 acres in total size. It's always been intended for the use that we're proposing today, which will include a multifamily component. And then the long-term picture here would be the town center of Westlake. And Minto has said from day one, and I've been a part of every conversation, the town center would be the last thing that would occur, because in order to have a town center, a viable town center, we need the density and intensity on both the east side of Seminole Pratt and the west side, and along with the commercial development that's occurring on the west side, which is much different than what will occur on the east side. You get large box activity on the west side. You get uses with drive-throughs on the west side. On the east side, it's going to be much more walkable. So that's why I know that's what this group is interested in having. So the site's, again, just under 67 acres. The parcel L2 or L3, which is the subject of the apartment site, the Avery, is 18 acres. The balance of the undeveloped area would be 44.28 acres. And then the sales center parcel is just about 5 acres in size. The sales center, we would anticipate, would ultimately be integrated into the overall town center development. So the question is 44.28 plus the 5 acres, is 60 acres or 50 acres adequate for a town center? The answer is it's too large. That's a large area. For example, the couple comparatives, just so you're familiar with it, the new Alton Town Center in the Alton development in Palm Beach Gardens that was built by Coulter. Also has a multifamily component, right around 400 units of multifamily. And then the town center piece is just about 28 acres in size. So this is significantly larger than that. This is larger than the newly completed or now under construction, close to being opening town center in Avenir. And it's also much larger than the town center in Abacoa. Not that Abacoa is the best example, but to give you an idea of comparison. And again, there's a multifamily component associated with at Abacoa, at grade apartments. And then there's also some integrated apartments, multifamily, that's on top of the commercial in Abacoa, which could very well be the case when this town center ultimately comes forward. So just to give you a little bit of idea of what sizes are. As Sarah pointed out, you've got large rights of way that surround the property. You've got a 130-foot right of way on Seminole Pratt Whitney. Town Center Parkway, north and south, are both 100-foot right of way. And then Kingfisher, which is on the east side of the site, is a 50-foot right of way by overall design. So in terms of the area, we kind of walk through the areas I was showing you on the graphics, parcel L1 or L2 and L3. L1 was established as a legal lot of record quite some time ago, as pointed out by Sarah. L2 and L3 are still vacant land. The overall parcel is platted, and as pointed out by the conditions of approval, this property would be subdivided in accordance with the requirements of your code. Our site density, the maximum allowable within the mixed use is 16 units to the acre. So technically, you could have up to 1,000 units on parcel L. We're only proposing 360 units. Our density is well below the maximum. It's 5.38 acres. It is being aggregated on the east side. So the net density of the 18 acres is 20 units to the acre. That's important because we're trying to maximize the remaining land. Plus, you want it intact, dense development to support the town center, and this provides that objective that we're proposing. From a non-residential perspective, the FAR within parcel L is 3.0. So if you run the math, it's 66 acres times 43,560 square feet. You could have over 8 million square feet, which you would never have. So plenty of density and intensity yet to build. And so, I know, we're coming in tonight with multifamily. This is the first time multifamily has been presented, but it's always been a part of the plan. Always, from the very beginning. You don't have a city unless you can provide for the housing for all of your residents, the people who work here, the people that might work at Lowe's or work at Walmart. It's a critical component of having a viable city. And the apartments that we're bringing, this is not low income housing. This is luxury apartments, and Jack can speak to that if you'd like him to talk. This is luxury apartments. They're market rate. This is not Section 8 housing. There's not even affordable housing here, although these will be more affordable than the single family homes or the attached. It provides a different price point. It provides diversity. And these types of housing, having the mixture, is what creates a full community. People from all walks of life that can live within Westlake. So very, very important to creating the vital town that this exists. So just kind of zooming in so you can see the context fits in very, very well. That it's intended that ultimately, as the town center area is built to the west, that people will be able to walk and fit right into it. And you ask, why are we not installing the gates there today? Reality is those locations could change depending on how that town center is designed. And so we might have to modify exactly where we're putting the walks to make those connections. But otherwise, it's not a big deal to install the gates. It just would be a gate to nowhere at this particular point. So that's why we're not installing them at this particular time. But we have no objection to the condition of approval. As pointed out, the site's 18 acres. We have a diversity of unit types. We have two different one-bedroom unit style units, two different two-bedroom units, and then we have two different three-bedroom units. And it's to meet the demands of everybody. are typically you have one bedrooms are typically a large majority. In this case, we have a greater majority of 3-bedroom units than you would typically see in a 360 unit apartment facility. And why is that? Well, a couple reasons. One, we see a market of new people moving into Westlake. Maybe their home is being built and it's going to be a year before it's delivered. They have a family, 3-bedroom units will fit that need. But also we are within, the Western community, and equestrian activities are big here. This area is the winter equestrian capital of the world. As you know, there's, millions and millions of dollars of investment going in right now at the showgrounds. It's going to be even more world-class than it is. And so that environment requires housing, and they've had a deficit for years. They've had people living in Jupiter and Palm Beach Gardens driving all the way out to the showgrounds, while they might only have a rental that's 8 months and only be here 4 months. They have a need for their, for their riders and the groomers and the people that take care of these multi-million-dollar horses. So it's a very, very important market for us. Recreational amenities, we've got a very, very robust package. We have a 10,000 or 9,000 square foot clubhouse, major pool amenities. We've got open space. We've got 2 dog parks. We've got playground space. We've got open play shelters. So everything you want. And then the pedestrian connectivity, as I'll walk through in the site plan, is significant. We are asking for a parking waiver. The reason we're asking for a parking waiver is because we don't want to overpark the site. We know and understand very, very well there's ULI standards that tell us what is a good rate of parking. And because of our mix of 3-bedroom units, and because we're providing a large 9,000 square foot clubhouse, we have to provide 25 spaces just for the clubhouse, for the residents of the club that are going to hopefully walk to the clubhouse. It's not that far away. But the standard that's in the code, combined with our 3-bedroom units that we're providing, is a burden. Your code is 1 space per bedroom, plus 5% gas, plus the parking for the clubhouse. That comes out to a ratio of about 1.94 spaces per unit. Industry standard for Palm Beach County, Florida, market for Palm Beach County. For the projects that I've done, 75 multifamily projects in the county over the years, multiples for Jack. The standard is 1.75 spaces per unit. And so we're actually, as we're proposing it with the 44 space waiver, at 1.85 spaces per unit in an area that hopefully becomes more walkable, and with the ability to walk the housing, we think that that's a good ratio. We have presented a contingency plan. If you want us to build a contingency plan now, if that's what we'd want to do, we could do it. It just takes up green space. We still meet all recreation requirements, still meet all open space requirements. We just think that creates a better plan. We think it's smarter. And as you know, and I find myself speaking at different engagements more often these days about the cost of housing everywhere, whether it's single family or otherwise. The number one cause of non-affordability of housing is regulatory barriers. And here's a case, I know that that's what your code says, but I would ask you to do what makes good sense, what's sustainable, what makes good sense. And so that's why we're asking for the waiver. In the same way for the bicycle parking, your code requires 1 space for every 2 units. So for 360 units, 180 bicycle racks. We've got no objection in putting them in, but it just doesn't make sense. We're proposing to put in, I think, 98 spaces, which include 28 indoor spaces. I'll talk about that as we get into it, but it just doesn't make any sense. If I have a $1,000 bike, bikes are expensive today, I'm not leaving it outside in the rain overnight. We do have strategically located bike racks at every reasonable location. And if there's a location you think we need to add one, we'll gladly do it. But the last thing that we want to do is have bike racks all over and have people leave dilapidated bikes out in the weather, because that's what you're going to get. Nobody's going to leave, their e-bike or their $1,000 bike sitting out there in the rain, even somebody from a rental, particularly when we have 28 space indoor. People have, if somebody has a garage, they can put their bike in the garage. They have to park there, but they could also put their bicycle in the garage. So just some of the tabular data, 42% of our site, actually almost 43% of our site, 42.5 is green space and open space, substantially above the pervious requirement of the code. And that includes our pool decks, our pickleball courts, our recreation areas. So that's just green. And we do, as staff pointed out, greatly exceed the minimum recreational requirements of your comprehensive plan for neighborhood recreation. And then this is our site plan, and I'll walk through it. The main entrance is opposite the adventure park, or at least the lodge at the adventure park off of Kingfisher. It aligns with that. We have two emergency access points, one in both the northwest corner, one in the southwest corner. Those are both equipped with click to enter and Knox boxes for Palm Beach County Fire Rescue. Residents can leave as a matter of convenience, but you can't come in those particular entrance. You'd have to come in the main entrance, which is gated and secured. But you can leave. Of course, emergency vehicles can come in. And then in the northwest corner, we have our trash compactor, and I have an enlargement. I'll show you that, and our maintenance building. And so there we do have some commercial services, the trash folks that come in. We don't want them going all through the community. So they can come in just that entrance. It's before the gates. They can take the trash compactor, take it out, and bring it back without impacting the overall community. There's a decorative fence that goes around the community. And let me walk you through some of the recreational amenities that we have. This is the technical site plan. I'm showing this here. I always show you the pretty pictures, but what goes into the packages that we deliver and that your staff reviews, and they will tell you so, is an extensive package. There was a list of 25 items in the staff report, all technical multi-page items that staff reviews, that the applicant puts forward. So it's a great deal of information and professional expertise, and not only goes into the design, but also into the overall plan. From the amenities, we have 12 major points of the amenities. I'll walk through them in more detail. The pickleball is in the southwest corner of the site. In a good location. We have courtyards and green areas. The main area is in the center, which is in the where our pool is and where our clubhouse is. And I will walk you through some of those amenities that are actually in the buildings. But I did want to talk about on the overall site design. We received some feedback that perhaps the building would be imposing on Town Center Parkway. From a design standpoint, we have three different building types. Two of the types are 4-story buildings, which are located interior to the site. On the edges, by design, and very intentionally, we put 3-story buildings to basically tower down. So the heights of these 3-story buildings are consistent with the heights within the single family district. Now, acknowledge, it's important to note, this district would allow heights up to 100 feet. We're not doing that. These buildings on the end are about 35 feet. But the building particularly on, that's on the south, or this would be on the northeast corner of the site. So this is the Kingfisher extends into the hammocks, so at the entrance of the hammocks. We actually intentionally set this building back by design in the original plan. And I'll show you some renderings of what that looks like. The building sets back 2 times the required setback. So it's 50 feet from Kingfisher, 58 feet from Town Center Parkway. And it's that way by design, because we really do look at sight lines and what the vantage is as you come out of all of our communities. And of course, landscaping is something that I'm a fetish about. And I'll always support this community with top landscaping. So there was a concern, and there was an AI generated image that was going around that perhaps this would be imposing. And I applaud whoever did that. I think that was smart, because we thought about this from day one. And I'll share with you not only, what it really looks like, but also, what we would propose to provide some additional landscape there. So what must come up in the next, my picture must be off there. I'll come back to that subject there. So this is the main amenity, the clubhouse, again, about 9,000 square feet, very large pool. There's actually a second poolside building, with large screen TVs and fans and a bar for residents. We have pergolas, we've got water features, we've got areas where they can sit in the grass and areas along the pool deck. Just very, very nicely done. And a lot of green space. So you're not seeing just hardscape, you're seeing a lot of green space as well as the hardscape that we have integrated into that plan. In the other areas of the site, this is the south side by the pickleball. We have a pavilion and a green area, walkways that are continuous, we provide connectivity all the way around the site, including connectivity out to Town Center Parkway south and Town Center Parkway east. So residents, there's a gate, the fob, they can get right out to wherever they're wanting to go. And this is the green area to the north, playground, large dog park, small dog park combined. That does not get impacted by the contingency plan. We have a pavilion and green space. And so a lot of amenity, a lot of thought that's gone into the overall design and how people will live throughout the site. This is the trash compactor and main building. And so you passed the trash ordinance, right? Which enables us to have a trash service. And all of the trash for our residents will be valet. This is a luxury facility. A porter every single day of the week will stop by. Residents are provided a beautiful decorative box where they put their trash in the morning. A porter comes by, they'll get it, they bring it to the trash compactor. Trash compactor is the best form of design because it's not an open dumpster, so you don't get any food smells. It's a sealed unit. They take the entire unit to the landfill and bring the entire unit back. And so it really is very, very efficient and creates that long-term sustainability. The maintenance building provides for a lot of maintenance facilities. Again, we will have service here, maintenance people working on the site every single day. They'll always be here. They have a place to work out of. They have storage for their equipment, things that they need to maintain the facility. And we also have a bike locker, 28 space air-conditioned bike locker with power cords. So if somebody has an e-bike, they can charge their e-bike. We've done a lot of multifamily, even, some tall that's in Palm Beach Gardens that's going up right now. And we don't have 28 bicycle places. And I don't even think we have 14 EV chargers, which are also, I applaud the developer for doing that. This is some architecture. This was the clubhouse building. And as staff pointed out, staff approached us, I think last Tuesday, and said, hey, would you guys consider looking at some alternative colors? We think you can enhance the building, and we've agreed to do that. And in fact, I'll be presenting those alternative colors. These are not the alternative colors, but I'm going to pass them around. And I always hesitate. This happens to be a print of a digital picture of the actual colors, but screens and prints never are right. So I'm bringing you the actual.
Those are the proposed colors.
These are the proposed colors. They're similar, but the proposed color, we got rid of that bright blue and went with a real subtle gray blue with this.
These are the alternative colors.
That's right. That's right. And I think I have that in the next rend. Well, this is
this page, the proposed or no?
Let me see here. I should have. I don't see it in there, but I'll try to find it. Yes.
One of these.
I did have it. I thought I had it in there. It's just not right. It's just not right here.
Yeah, we can't compare it all that well from the screen.
No, and I'm hoping if not, I'll pass around my iPad so that you guys can see that. So here, let me see. There we go. Now I'm in the right order. Okay, so.
Oh, here's that.
So sorry to go back. Some of these things we were trying to get ready for tonight. This is a corner. So this is an actual picture. This is the picture that the resident from Hammocks took. We took the exact same picture that they provided. and put in the 3D image of the actual building. And we put in our actual landscaping, but we are proposing to enhance it. And so we're willing to commit to what you see in this picture. That's reality because it's set back. It's a 3D image, and it was considered. And so why would you put a building on the corner? From a design, from a planning and urban design perspective, we like buildings at a corner where they engage and create space, where architecture becomes more of a vista than a parking area. So, could it move? Yeah, it could. I'll tell you from a professional design perspective, this is better. And we're willing to commit to the landscaping that we're showing you. This is what you'll actually see. This was the image that was presented. This is an AI generated image, and the resident actually agreed. They even wrote on it that it was AI generated. He didn't try to. Nothing was trying to be. No, but.
Yeah, Mr. Palmer.
He did a wonderful job. He was honest about it, and we applaud him. We're just set back a little further, and we've got a little bit more 3D. This is like literally right up on the street, but we appreciate it, and that's why we did this image right here. That's in the exact perspective because we have a 3D model. This is 100% accurate. Of what's there. So this is not AI generated. This was from our 3D model integrated into georeferenced survey data.
Your ridge line as it crosses that palm tree, that first palm tree, you see the.
Yep.
So the distance from the tree to the ridge line, if you look at the next drawing, when the resident put together, it looks like, well, I guess it's lower, it's further back.
Yeah, we're further back. That's 2D and what we gave you was 3D. So it's just harder. I mean, I think that they did a great job. So I mean, certainly applaud, but I just wanted to make sure that you realize and you've seen the landscaping that we do. I mean, it's going to look exactly as we tell you. So that's that corner, and we appreciate, certainly can discuss that at a little bit greater length. So this is the 3-story building, and this was the original color where you saw the blue up at the top. 4-story building where you see the blue up at the, whoops, sorry, let me go back. Where you see the blue accent here.
Yeah.
Staff asked us to take a little bit more look at it. We did a couple things that I'll show you in addition to just changing the colors to the lighter colors that you see. So these are the lighter colors. We've done some things. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm hitting the wrong button. We've added some areas that create vertical. So this is 3-tone. So it's a base and a darker color. On the side, we've added actually some board and batten stucco fenestration on the side. The screens, or every single balcony is screened here. So that does not occur in typical multifamily. Every balcony is screened. So we've spent the money on screening the balconies and doing something. And the teal color that you have, and I know it's always hard looking at the screen, is only used within the entrance area. So that's the bluish color, which is, I think, this color on the end is all, and it's that way on all the buildings. So it signifies entrance. So your mind automatically knows the intentionality of why that is done.
What's the wind speed that those screens will take?
The wind speed is probably less than 150 mile an hour, which is required by the hurricane speed. The frames support it. The screens are probably designed to blow out. I don't know what the exact wind speed, but we could get that to you. And so this was the original 4-story building. This is the building that sits by the pool. The pool is on either side. You see that amount of green space in front of it. And again, the blue that we were using, sorry, let me go back. The blue that we were using just wasn't doing that. It was too bright. It was in the wrong place, and staff really had some great ideas. And we took that and we spent several days And I can't tell you how many conference calls with Jack and our architectural team out of Orlando, looking at the different colors. And so this is the way that you see those colors. Here, if you look close on the side, you can see where we've added the board and batten treatment just on the side to provide additional articulation. But I think that the colors are much better. Not that I had that much to do with it, but I was vocal about what we thought was good. And this is the 3-story building. So this is what was originally presented. Again, you'll see the blue used at the tops, as well as within the alcove areas at the entrance. We simplified that, really made it much better with the colors that we're doing. It really helps the building pop. In the recess, we use a slightly darker color, and then the teal, a little warmer in the other area. So if you like those colors, we're happy to go with staff's recommendation on that. So Sarah and Nielsa, we thank you for your input on that design. And then with the clubhouse, again, I do have that because you asked that, the blue just really wasn't doing it. So you'd be surprised how much color makes a difference in an architectural flavor. And this is what that looks like. So again, the teal is used, and it's a gray teal. So go back again. This is what it was. And this is what it is. Just much lighter, brighter, cleaner, and then the entrance kind of identifying you as you welcomes you into the community. Yellow tababuya.
And that's what you'll actually use?
That's an actual from the landscape plan. 2 date palms on either side, and that's a Tababuya argentea, for those of you who are interested in the botanical name of what that is. So the clubhouse has a lot of features. There's a WeWork space. If you looked at the inside of the plans, there's a WeWork space for residents so that they can, so many people now work from home. They could come down and have conference calls, do what they need to do. We have a golf simulator. There's a large fitness facility. There's a private kind of fitness for one-on-one training. There's some open areas and lounge areas. And then of course the outdoor area is really quite spectacular in what we're proposing to do. The contingency plan. So the areas that I've highlighted are the areas where we would implement the additional parking. We'll do that day one if that's what the commission wants. We just think, we know that we don't need that amount of parking. I mean, history tells us, the ULI tells us, and Jack tells us, and his lenders tell it. I mean, Jack can tell you what the cost of this is. What's your construction cost? $70 million. So it's $70 million, of which it's all taxable, not homestead, all taxable. $70 million. His lenders, because we get involved for other banks looking and evaluating these types of facilities, we spend a lot of time, his lenders will spend a lot of time looking at your parking. They want to make sure that it's right because they want an asset that's going to function. $70 million is not a short price tag. So this is a lot. Again, we'd be happy to build it. With this plan, we're 5 short. And we could probably pick up the 5 if that was needed. We just don't think that it's needed. So we put this in there so that we could demonstrate that we could meet it, so that you'd have an assurance it can be done. We can work with the counselor on a condition. Mr. Mayor, if you had some thoughts, we're certainly open to those thoughts as we get into that. And these are just the enlargements of where those are, some of the technical.
My initial instinct is if you don't think you need the parking, but I just don't like the language in that condition.
We know we don't need the park because we're still at 1.85 and 1.75 is really the mark where we are. So there's 2 waivers dealing with parking. One is if we had the contingency plan versus the standard plan. So 44 space deviation, 5 space deviation. And then the bike parking, we're happy to build the bike racks. We think it's an attractive nuisance. We don't think that you want 180 bike parking spaces everywhere. We put them where they're strategically located. We don't want junkers out there. But we'll build them. I mean, if that's what you want, what we've always said when the Westlake Code was developed, is that we wanted things to make sense. And that's why the waiver process is there. And we didn't get all the code stuff right. You know, I'm working with staff on another application right now where the parking is underparked. And I'm telling staff, how do we add extra parking? Because we need it. So we try to park based on what's needed.
Mr. Herring,
for
if I
the
may,
use.
just because I'm curious, what loophole got you out of the golf cart requirement? Golf cart parking?
Well, you can park a golf cart in a
Because it's
standard
not
space.
commercial.
Oh, because
Is that what
it's
it is?
residential, yeah. But I mean, you can park in a standard space. So if people,
Right, but I know our code requires dedicated golf cart. That may be just commercial.
that's right, non-res. Again, you know, our project, we think it fits in quite well. And we really look forward to continuing forward. So we thank you. Happy to answer any questions. And I know there's a lot of public here. Love to
Yeah, we're gonna
hear.
open up for public
the
comments.
point.
Everybody's gonna
And
give
then,
a
of course,
comment.
we'd
Not
like to
yet.
have an opportunity to respond.
Um,
And the developers here too. Jack, if you have any questions specific, you might want to ask him now about any specific questions.
if we may,
Jack, you wanna-
Mr. Vice Mayor, I saw you,
There are a couple items. I'll try to go through these. The initial plantings that you're proposing now for building 8, what's the height of those when you install?
35
Not 30 years from now.
Pretty close to what you're seeing. The Royals were mature Royals, and full. So in that area, we'll ensure that
So
it
it'll pretty
looks like
much
that.
look like that if
Yep.
we did approve it
Yep.
that way
Yes, sir.
on day one.
Yep.
Okay. For the parking contingency, will the pickleball be the last option? You would start with the 2 intersections first, and then if you need to be to rip
Absolutely.
that up.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm just trying to ask these questions now. What happened to the shutters on the buildings?
The shutters are there's shutters on the sides of every building. They'll be there. They're on your plan. And then there's shutters on the 3-story building has shutters on it. The 3-story building has shutters on the fronts in the white panels,
Facing the road.
sides and in
Okay,
the rear.
that was
So,
my other question,
no,
because
we
I
haven't-
want it to be aesthetically pleasing as people are driving by these buildings, that it's not gonna
No.
look like.
Yeah, no, we did not take the shutters off the building. So they're there.
Okay, and then I'm good for right now. I might come back.
Okay.
it's all impact glass.
All impact glass.
Mr. Warner, please.
Thank you, Mayor. You have bicycle electric hookups. Is there anything similar for vehicles?
We have 14 EV chargers.
Okay. Can you go to the architectural?
If I have a point of clarification, I don't think there's bicycle chargers.
There's bicycle chargers
Oh, yeah.
in the 28.
Oh,
In the
that's
garage.
the interior
Right.
floor.
Right, right.
Got it, okay. Thank you. Sorry, I missed that.
You
Sorry to
can
interrupt.
move back to one of the illustrations for the 3 or 4-story building.
That's clever.
I looked at the roof material spelled out, and what I looked up called it asphalt shingles.
It's dimensional architectural asphalt shingles. So that is correct. It's an outstanding product. It's exceptionally sustainable.
You don't happen to have a sample with you, do you?
I do not. I did get a request that you wanted to see a sample. It's typically not something that we provide under your code, but we didn't have one.
I'm a bit reluctant about the asphalt. I'm not familiar with that product.
Jack?
We used it for.
Jack Weir.
Excuse me, sir.
Eastland
you sworn?
Development, President, 5604 PJ Boulevard in Palm Beach Gardens, for the record. The shingles are architectural shingles, so they're different from the traditional asphalt shingles in that they have granules, texture, multiple colors. That's what gives them the dimensional aspect of it as well. So it's an upgrade from the flat, straight asphalt thing. So we looked early on at, do we do a tile roof or do we do a metal roof or do we something else here? And the reason we chose not to do that is it moves you into a different price category in terms of your roofing. You have to not only do a higher grade roof and a more costly roof, but you also have to increase your truss structure because there's more weight on it as well. So development is the art of balance. We want to do a high quality product and things that have a lot of pop for our residents. So that's why we invested in the screens. We know that that works and why we're investing in the landscaping. So just a little bit of background on Eastwind, just so you know. So Eastwind's been around for 20 years. We've done a little bit over 4,100 units. We have another 1,200 in the pipeline, counting this, 4 separate projects. Never had a default, never failed to start or finish a project that's been entitled, never lost money in a project, never an ask for judgment. So I can talk a little bit about the parking, but this is the first aspect, and I appreciate you talking about the roofing here. Our roof on a 4-story building and even the 3-story building is really an accent piece when you're looking up from the ground. It's not a pronounced visual element. So what we're looking to do is spend money in the clubhouse, the amenity areas, the landscaping, which we regard as very important and in keeping with the city's character. So that's why we made the judgment that we did there.
Okay, so keeping along the same lines of the architectural, the exterior of the buildings, they're all stucco?
That's correct.
Have you considered any other textures? Rock, wood, anything else?
Not on the exterior. So
You
the
think it'll
exterior
be wide?
stucco and exterior. The other thing I should point out with the roof is sometimes you'll see the air conditioning units put on the roof, and it's called a TPO surface. So the roof is a mansard and there's a well on the top there. So our experience has been that is less resilient in a storm situation. So even though we're 21 miles inland at this location, we're still in the South Florida County. So we wanted to have a closed roof system and have the air conditioning units on the ground, which brings us back to the landscaping and why that's important.
Okay, so you wouldn't consider adding any texture to the exterior?
What type of textures?
Well, like I said, rock, wood, brick?
There's bats in one
We
side.
put batten boards on the side on there in order to increase the articulation there. The rest of it, we're trying to break up the mass of the building with the differing colors.
Okay. On the roof material, how long would you say it's rated for?
Theoretically, it's rated for up to 30 years, but I would say it's a 20-year, similar to tile.
And I looked at your website. It's a very nice website. You've done some nice projects. Congratulations on that. But I also see that you've sold most of the projects that you built. How long would it be before you sell this one?
Some of those were because some of those we had planned to hold in 2022, as you know, was sort of a market after the pandemic when people were pursuing projects and offering pretty outrageous prices. So we sold some that we'd otherwise planned to keep. So on this one, generally, you project a hold of 4 to 5 years, but we can hold it longer. We actually have one asset in downtown West Palm we've owned for 12 and a half years since we built it.
How long would you expect it to be leased up, fully leased up?
We would expect first units to deliver clubhouse in month 15, first units in month 16. For this type, we would expect it to be fully leased between 30 months to 36 months.
Okay, that's what I figured. Thank you.
One other point I wanted to clarify when you asked about the cost of the project, the 70 million is the hard cost. The entire project is $100 million, almost on the button. So that's the investment in this.
I believe
community.
it. It's a big project. It's a very nice site plan, by the way. I think you hired some good people. The landscaping is beautiful. Don, you always do a good job. The landscaping is going to be consistent with what we have here in Westlake, right? Do the plan, this is to staff, do the landscape plans specify the size of the trees as Mr. Hearing indicated?
I mentioned that.
The record, Leon, city planner for the city of West. So the landscape plan does have minimum height standards for each tree, shrubs, ground cover. So there are minimum height installed.
What do you mean minimum height?
There has to be a minimum height at install. It can be less. So the landscape plan does have those measurements.
Mr. Hearing said they're going to be the size shown on the illustrations.
Particularly at the corner.
For building 8.
What you typically would see around Westlake But at that corner, we tried to represent what was gonna be installed, so you're not gonna see.
Okay, but more towards the interior, they're smaller trees?
Smaller, but in scale and context with the building. Yeah, everything's in scale.
So the palms obviously come in larger. The trees and shrubs, we put them in scale so that they don't look out of scale. Pretty consistent with what you see on all the new stuff going
Okay,
in.
that's what I thought. I was gonna make sure it's written in the documents.
Councilman Gleason.
I'm asking questions of staff.
Oh, you still going? Okay.
You wanna go on?
No, well, no, his questions, new questions are of staff. Does anybody else have questions for?
No.
No? Okay, please.
Oh,
Still recognized.
To our city attorney, it's been presented to us by the applicant's attorney that this is a use permitted by right. So by that, I understand it to mean that I, as an individual and the council as a whole, cannot deny the application.
You'd be creating problems for the city if you were.
Correct. And I'd want to do that. As long as it meets code.
Your staff is giving you recommendations that there is compliance with code.
Well, although there are waivers.
Waivers are different than,
So the
they're
waivers-
separate.
The waivers will be dealt with separately.
They can be, yes, sir.
Okay, so question, this can be either to staff or to the applicant. Although I know Don will give us an answer that's going to be a good answer. I look at the comprehensive plan under the mixed-use development provisions, and it indicates that this site, which is mixed use, has a maximum density of 16 dwelling units per gross acre. You're proposing it at 20 units per gross acre. So you're in excess of what the parameter is established.
No, absolutely not. We're actually well under what could be put on that site, and even throughout the whole city here, if we took a small little piece of ground and we looked at it, the densities are going to vary even within our single family areas. So in this particular case, we're looking at an overall area. So the density of the overall master planned area is only 5.38 units to the acre. So it just happens to we're aggregating it on the east end because it makes sense to do that. And then you're maximizing the land for non-residential uses.
Right. I understand. And I understand from Mr. Weir that they're going to own the project, yet they don't own the land yet because it hasn't been platted. It's not a separate lot. If it were a separate lot, it would have an MU zone and it would be subject to that 18 acres, not the rest of it.
I'll let Ms. Dewey give you the answer.
Again, for the record, Tara Dewey, Lewis Lamina Walker, on behalf of applicant Minto PBLH LLC. The parcel is described as the platted area parcel L. The master plan contains the parcel. Your comprehensive plan, flu policy 1.17 and flu policy 1.18 dictate how density and intensity are calculated in both residential and mixed parcels. The word is a parcel. So the parcel that we're talking about is parcel L. So the density from the overall parcel L has been moved to this particular area. And that is what is the calculation and methodology of doing that is set forth in those policies.
But when it gets platted, it'll be parcel L3.
It's still part of the master plan parcel. That is the description of what we have before you.
Okay, so earlier in Mr. Hearing's presentation, he said L2, the larger 40-acre piece.
Yes.
Would have more residential.
The master plan that came before you articulates what the development intensity and density for each parcel are. And that is the purpose of the master plan accompanying this particular site plan, is to establish where the density and intensity will be. So that is density. I think he misspoke and I heard him do that.
So when I think of a master plan for L, I'm thinking of something visual that shows me a layout of the entire property, and we don't see that.
That is a site, by your code, that is a site plan. A master site plan is a document that contemplates various stages of development that includes portions that are yet to be developed, which is the parcel L2 and the parcel L3, which is being proposed for you tonight in order to encourage the development of parcel L.
Okay, so I had
Parcel
a
L3.
similar discussion with staff, and they indicated to me that L2 would be 100% commercial.
Well, the density and intensity are as permitted under the current zoning, the comprehensive plan, zoning, and master plan that is before you tonight.
Right, but if you look at all of L,
Yes.
you have a minimum requirement of four dwelling units per acre, right? And you're already at 5 with this project.
Okay, so I'm a lawyer. I am not a mathematician, so I am not even going to try to do math for you. You're welcome. What I can tell you is that overall, we are entitled to, it's a mixed use community. It is governed by your comprehensive plan, which has minimum and maximum percentages of types of use, which was covered by your staff in their presentation. So that includes the industrial, the commercial, and the residential. So that is one regulation that governs the development of the overall downtown mixed use. Then there are the specific comprehensive plan policies about the density and intensity permitted within
Parcel?
the parcel, correct. So L is the parcel that is subject to the comprehensive plan and then your zoning code. So all of that together came forth with the master plan we had before you. Parcel L2 is not before you in terms of a site plan or types of uses. What is before you is a portion of that development as calculated pursuant to these flu policies that allow for a maximum of the non-residential development or residential. Let me go to the right one. Sorry. No, I don't have my glasses. Anyway, as a parcel.
I want to ask a very straightforward question.
Yes.
Assuming this project gets approved, right? How much residential is allowed to be on the remaining L parcel?
Again, there's some balances between the maximum land area and other, but you could have, you could have up to 1,000 units if you were looking at 16 units. That is clearly not where.
It's that question of staff instead of the applicant. Staff, assuming this project gets approved, how much residential can go on the remaining L?
So the mixed use has a minimum and a maximum percentages. So it would be a math of that square footage.
How many
It's
acres? What percentage of the remaining area can actually be
so
residential?
residential is 25% maximum for the entire mixed
For the
use
whole L?
for all of the
Mixed use
mixed
is whole
use in the city.
Then on the parcel itself.
Yeah, so we will have to do the math of the remaining L2 and possibly L1.
Does the city have the ability to place an overlay on the remaining L parcel? I have to be candid. The fear is that'll never be a town center. It's only gonna be homes.
Right.
We need to prevent that.
Okay, well, that.
And I gotta ask you guys to, maintain order and not,
Right.
do public comment.
Correct. So I can tell you that the intention is to build a sustainable city, which I think you can all agree we have done. And it's as important to this developer who was here before anyone else to make sure that occurs. Can I sit here and tell you they won't put a small component of maybe some mixed use Abacoa type development that has some integrated residential? No, because we don't have that before us today. So I cannot agree to have that kind of condition placed on this master site plan. But what I can tell you is that nothing about that legally authorizes this council to say no to a project that meets code and is necessary.
No, I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not recommending we say no to the project. Absolutely not. I'm recommending we do something with the remaining space.
What if
That
we-
is under the purview of this council.
What if we were to condition L2 may only be used for commercial use as part of this master site plan? If you come back later on with something else that we would have to amend.
I don't have my principal here right now to talk about a condition of approval that's coming on the dais for the
wouldn't-
first time.
Wouldn't be this project. I'm worried about the rest of the land, and I wouldn't be opposed if it is some small component of residential above, like an Abercrombie, but it's the fear is real. And
This was not something that we were discussed with staff. And frankly, we have had meetings with each one of you, save Councilwoman Leonard. So it's not something that we're prepared to be negotiating away development rights, not knowing what is possibly coming before us. And frankly, it's not a legal obligation or fair request to condition this approval for permitted
Not
uses.
talking about this approval.
But the master site plan is part of this approval. And that has conditions and requirements as well. And the same legal requirements that apply to evaluation of a master site plan apply to a site plan. And this is not a legitimate, this condition of approval does not have a nexus to the applications being submitted before you, considering that this development is part of your comprehensive plan right now and is part of your development code. To the extent you want to discuss that for the future, that is a different thing you can discuss with your attorney in making amendments to your code. But tonight you have to apply the code that's here, and this is not a rational condition of approval.
Your application is for a master site plan establishment for parcel L.
Correct.
Why would you then say we cannot condition the remainder of parcel L?
You can. You do not have a legal basis to request the condition that you were talking about under your code. And you are legally obligated to analyze a site plan based on code provisions, and there isn't one.
We're not seeing a master site plan for all of L. We're only seeing it for a portion of it.
That is not correct.
And as the mayor indicates, this is a concern that many of the people in Westlake have.
I understand this is not the forum legally to address those concerns. And we are not in a position to be able to do that. And holding hostage what is required.
Never do that.
I'm saying the situation you're putting us in is my client is not here to negotiate this particular condition as it was not brought up before tonight. What is before.
We'll get our city attorney's opinion.
I just want to ask our city attorney.
I would caution you, Mayor. I think you're exceeding legal limits within the context of the application before you.
Okay.
I think
Understood.
you have to recognize the rights of the property owner.
For this specific application.
Yes, sir. You're asking questions regarding the future,
Correct.
and that's not associated
Is
with
something
it,
we can work on first thing in the morning tomorrow?
but not tonight.
Okay.
And I am certain that my client would be happy to have discussions with each and every one of you. And he would have been here tonight if he thought that was going to be an issue. So we had no preparation for this request, and that's why we're not here and prepared to answer it.
I thought I heard something in the presentation that I thought I heard 3%, which part of the presentation is something that ended with, which is 3%. And I translated that.
It was the
as-
minimum and maximum.
It was minimum maximum density and intensity overall for the
And
site.
that's for the entire city.
Do we know where we are in those calculations?
Well,
You provided the number.
Family.
Okay. I defer to our city attorney, who is very wise when it comes to protecting us.
Mayor, just one last thing. I have two correspondents. I think one of the correspondence comes from a representative here tonight, but I will just get them into the record.
I'm
One
gonna open up for public comments.
is from Mike Palmer. The other one is from Stanislaw. Stanislaw not here. Can I just read?
Please.
Just a couple excerpts.
Sir, if you would do that during public comments.
Oh, I thought we were heading in there.
Mayor, if I could have one last.
Yes, of course.
Yes. So we understand the concern in the room. We see this project as the catalyst for the commercial development of town center. So it's
I see
really,
it that way.
yeah, it's really in two respects. One, it's a lot more rooftops, it's a lot more residents. And the second thing is it provides a place for people who are going to be working here and working in some of the commercial establishments to live near where they work. I know based on my discussions with the seller, the current owner of the property, they have a strong vision for the commercial development with retail and restaurants and recreation, entertainment in the town center. So they say this particular project as a catalyst to advancing that vision.
And I agree with that. I've maintained that. I think.
While Mr. Weir's up there, just one last question.
Sure.
Would you be agreeable then, if the project were approved without the waivers?
Without the waivers, the ones we've requested.
The parking and the bicycle waivers?
So,
it was said earlier that you can do it.
right, well, there's a difference between can doing it and do we think it's a good idea?
Mhm.
So, I've been doing this, as I said, for 20 years. In most suburban locations, our parking ratios are 1.75. So the parking code here is on the higher end of the spectrum. I think it's extremely unlikely, less than 5%, that you would ever have to trigger the contingency parking requirement. You would have to be 100% full, and you would have to have, 3 cars in every 3-bedroom household. So, I think our request is to still go forward with the standard waiver, the contingency. And then the other thing I did want to address was the bikes. I mean, Mr. Herring has talked about it, but we have the 28 spaces, we have the 72 garages, which provide space for not only cars, but also bikes. And then any expensive bike people will store in the unit if they don't store it in one of those 2 locations. The 70 other bike racks that we're providing are going to be at uses, I think, primarily for bicycle rides within the community, at the clubhouse, the pool area, pickleball, dog park, tot lot, and the bike storage area itself. So I think our request is still to approve the parking waiver, the parking contingency waiver, and then the reduction in the bike spaces.
So I take that as you would not be agreeable to approval without the waivers.
Our preference is to get the waivers.
So the answer is no.
Our preference, yes.
Mr. Vice Mayor.
One more question, either for Mr. Herring or Mr. Weir. In the email that I sent to you yesterday, the city manager and to the planning and zoning regarding this building from Mr. Palmer for building 8. The question, if it's allowable to move building 8 to maintenance and maintenance to building 8 site, is that something that would be able to work? I know that there's that extra entrance where, solid waste will have to use. I don't know if that's allowable, but I just wanted to ask that question because that was one of the concerns. And I know Mr. Herring mentioned something in there, but during his presentation.
So I'll answer and then I'll defer to Don. So the reason we have that there is so you have truck traffic coming in there. We don't want trucks going all through the site, not desirable for the residents, rips up the pavement. So you have the compactor there, and then you have the maintenance building, which will take delivery of supplies as well. So our preference is to keep the maintenance building and the compactor where they are. So we would also like to keep the building in the corner because we think it frames the site plan. It provides access to the courtyards. We could theoretically slide it up a little and flip the parking lot that's there and do that. Not our preference, but it's an option.
Can we look at that picture again of the site?
Yeah, we have, in full disclosure, we tested out, would it work or would it not work? And the answer is it would work. It's just.
Now, this would be to switch. I'm only asking now about the parking spot. If we could take that one section and move it up.
I'll show you what.
I understand placement of the maintenance and not having those trucks actually coming into that intersection also
Yeah,
as well.
so it absolutely would work. We studied it. We don't lose any parking. We can make it all, we could make it work. We just don't think it's,
This to here and it.
yeah, we left the maintenance we'd want to keep there because, you know, it's really well thought out and we wouldn't want to, staff would not want us to have another access point close to the intersection. So yes, it could slide up and fit in there. We don't think it's as good of a design from a planner's perspective, but it absolutely would work and we'd be able to meet the minimum parking requirements.
You lose the symmetry.
Yes.
You lose the symmetry and you really want to anchor a building. And that's why we put the 3-story buildings that are there. From a design standpoint, we think that that's
And
best.
for the record, we spoke of this earlier and the applicant was agreeable, but thought it would be a real disservice to the project and to the city.
That's correct. But I developed a full, I worked really hard today and developed a full site plan to see if it would work. And, you know, I have to tell you, it would work. It can happen. Not our preference but it would work.
On your main entrance, you have a circle, traffic circle?
Yes, sir.
Is that asphalt or paved?
Pavers. Yes, and Mr. Werner, we're doing all paver crosswalks here, sir. Everywhere, sir.
Well, I did notice that, but I did have a question that the extension of the crosswalk into the L2, you have 4 of those locations, don't show that as pavers.
It should. Let me go back to the colored site plan. I think we're showing pavers wherever we're crossing pavement.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we're showing pavers wherever we're crossing pavement. And the site plan's just a lot of information here. Get to a green one. There we go. Back to this, one of these is the site plan. There we go. So which area were you looking at? So right at the main entrance was pavers.
This area moving.
Oh, because you're going off site. Yeah, we wouldn't put pavers.
These here and this one here is white.
Yeah, we wouldn't put pavers, only where we're crossing asphalt. But every place where we cross asphalt,
Yeah, this is a,
yeah, and even interior to the parking lot, when a sidewalk crosses the asphalt, they're all pavers, sir.
All right, that's good.
No, we're up here.
We going to public comments?
I'm gonna make sure my colleagues don't have any more questions or concerns.
Mayor, if I might, prior to commencing public comments, I caution you and members of the council, please do not interact or respond to any public comments. It's a quasi judicial proceeding. Let's keep it within that format.
Understood. Let's open up and take the first comment card.
I have no public comment
I'll
cards.
take the first hand I see. Right there. Yeah, we'll
Okay,
do it.
before we.
Yeah, we'll do it. Unless,
Darlene Winooski, 5948 Buttonbush Drive. First of all, I do feel better about it after seeing everything and seeing the actual renderings. But Mike, congratulations, you made the PowerPoint. So that was good. I just want to know how we're addressing public safety. We have a lot of people living closer together and then also charging e-bikes unattended. That's generally unfavorable for fire hazard. So I'm just concerned about that. And then overflow, are they going to start trying to park in the adventure park? Because eventually those garages, let's face it, are going to become storage units. People aren't going to park their cars there. And if we're counting on that toward our parking minimum and then people are storing stuff there. And then we keep saying, oh, we need this to have our town center. And we used Avenir as an example. Well, they have their town center far before us. So I think that was a poor and unfair example. And then they're not owners, so will they be using our amenities? That was never addressed. And then are there elevators in this building? Just curiosity. That was it. Thanks.
thank you. Next, public comment. Mr. Palmer, just state your name and address for the record, please. I'm writing stuff down.
There you go. Mike Palmer, 5984 Whippoorwill Circle. I have a couple questions that maybe you can
ask later. I don't know.
Okay.
On building 8 that's facing the road, are air conditioners, the air conditioning units, are they going to be visible for the road for Town Center Parkway?
What else you got?
Second, there didn't seem to be a lot of area. Granted, they did say there's a larger setback, but from the illustration I saw that they gave, now I didn't have any because I was on the cheap. But their illustration, I would like for you to ask if the amount of vegetation they showed behind the units is consistent with the landscaping plan that was put out there that I looked at. It looks like there's more vegetation on the illustration than what is on the plan. And I guess finally, if you have so much vegetation behind that unit, they're going to get in the way of the windows for people when they look out their window. They're going to see trees and they're not going to have any view. So has that been considered when they were building that illustration? Guess that's it. Oh,
Thank you, Mr. Palmer.
Thank you.
thank you.
Well, Ms. Shapiro had her hand up first.
So let me first by clarifying what I said in the beginning. When they came to the podium, they wanted us focused on what was at hand, which was the trash. But we all felt that these questions were going to happen because when we were sold, what we were sold was a town center that kind of looked in, shops on the bottom, residential on top. So we were very concerned about residential. So I just wanted to clarify that. I did not say the council was lying. I did say that it was very evident, and Council Werner, he picked it up. It was very evident that we were very concerned about how this building was going to fit in with the rest of what we were sold in the beginning. Now, I do have two questions. First of all, I want to thank Mike because, well, first, I want to thank you for the lack of sleep I had last night. But I also feel that the reason we all came out was because of that drawing. So it did serve a purpose. I also want to thank those who presented, beautifully done. I wish that it had a little bit more movement vertically because I do come from an architectural background. And if you know the buildings on Southern and Route 7, they have a lot of movement and this had the potential. So I would have loved to have seen that. And I do wish that the vegetation turns out to be like that. I'm not concerned about their views. I'm concerned about my view. Now, I will say, I do have one question, and perhaps this is something I would love to know if the attorney could say, when are we going to get the answers to the questions we're asking, since you cannot answer them now? There was something said about, this is not going to be Section 8. And then Councilman asked the question, when will you be selling this? So generally around 5 years, maybe 12. That was, I think, when you stepped out. Now, we have residents, we have homes in the community that are currently Section 8, where they're paying $4,500, maybe even close to $5,000. So my question is and by the way, these are developers. So my question is, when we do have that second developer that perhaps doesn't have that same class that these amazing developers have, and by the way, Minto always does a great job. I just want to go on record with that. What's going to stop Section 8 to come into the buildings? If they're coming into a $4,800 home, I don't see that happening. And now when we have 3-bedroom apartments, that's pretty great. That's perfect for, and I have friends and family that have Section 8, not judging Section 8 tenants, but a 3-bedroom apartment is a perfect place for a Section 8 family. So I'm wondering, what's to stop? I understand that's illegal. Being on HOA, I was advised by our property manager that we could not deny it just on the basis of Section 8. So that's my big concern, and I'm wondering who's going to stop that. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Your Honor.
You remembered, Clarence Thomas, 13969 Nicole Cove. My company provides parking compliance for a number of the communities around here. Sky Cove, The Crossings, Sunterra. Yeah, I'm that guy. And I can tell you with a surety, we patrol every night.
There are going to be people that will park out on the street. There will be people that will have a garage that will be full. We see in the communities, sometimes 6 cars, and sometimes we have to have them towed. I'm just saying, from my perspective, and I go out every night, my crew goes out, you're gonna need those parking spaces, or else I'll give you my business card.
Yes, sir. Mr. Winooski. Step on up, state your name and address for the record.
Frank Winooski, 5948 Button Bush. I'm going to mimic the parking from somebody who used to come out here when there were no streets out here, watching the Gardens Mall get built and all the developments get built. This isn't in Palm Beach Gardens. There is no public transportation, so everybody coming in and out of Westlake is going to be in a car. So your parking has got to be higher than it is in Palm Beach Gardens, where you can take a bus or walk somewhere. People call this Somalia when they're trying to come out to my house. So there's nobody taking a bus out here. So that's just something to think of.
I get Naples. I call Naples a lot. Please.
Alicia Torres, 5847 Whippoorwill Circle. I also want to say the same thing about the parking. I've had an issue with all of these waivers. It seems almost 100% of the waivers we get are for signs and for parking reduction. And I think it's really easy for the developers and convenient for them to say, oh, this is the calculation of how it works, but the boots on the ground and human nature means that what Frank said is right. We're all going to have cars. Reducing parking is not going to make people have less cars. It just isn't. That's not how it works. And so, the spillover, the danger, all of our car accidents happen in the parking lots, well, not all of them, but, PBSO says a large portion of them are just people reversing, trying to park. Yeah, so anyway, I caution that we be really careful about this. I also feel like it's a bit disingenuous to say it's either pickleball and green space or concrete parking for your cars. I think there's a different way, obviously, to do that. There's a ton of flexibility within a huge complex like this. Reduce the number of 3-bedroom apartments, make another 4-story building. I understand the bottom line has to be valuable enough to the developer at the end of the day to go through with such a big project. But I just want you guys as the city council looking out for us, because we're the ones who end up circling around, looking for a parking spot just to get home, The other thing I wanted to say is I do still wish the building 8 or whatever could be flipped to go on the western side. And I think it would actually make sense. You could maintain symmetry by also moving the pickleball court east, which would make sense to me because the park is right here. The basketball courts. So you would have a contained amount of like bouncing ball sounds instead of spreading it throughout the city. And so that way you could have both of those 2 buildings, and they would still be in corners at the end of the day. Whatever's going, into L2, that's an edge, to a new type of whatever community or whatever. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys. This is really high density stuff, and I really appreciate you guys being like extra careful and worried about the nuances of it.
Thank you. Mr. Farber?
Bobby Farber, 4829 St. Armand's Way. So I also had a question about this section 8, and I did speak with the attorney, and as I know it, and I'd like a little more clarification on it, but supposedly this development does not qualify for that section 8. So that cannot come here, but I'd like the clarification as to why it doesn't. So hopefully we can get that. I did have the pleasure to meet with Jack Weir, and I loved everything I saw when I first saw it, and I do concur. As I've known it, this mixed use was always set up for 150 hotel rooms, 30 residences, so it was always in there. So this is nothing new to me. I'm glad they changed the color. I think that adds a little texture to it because originally it was supposed to be all white and it really had no look about it. I'd also like to know about security for the development. Is there going to be private security going to be out there? I mean, is somebody going to police that area? Not our residents in Crestwind who do the volunteer police, but if there will be any other security to maintain what goes on in there. And lastly, I just want to say that I'm actually jealous of this place because their clubhouse is bigger than Crestwind and they have probably more amenities than we do. So if they'll give me a day pass, I'll go in there.
I don't see any more hands. Any other public comments at all? No? Okay. Let's close public comment. Oh, yes, please. Yes, read the emails into
All
record.
right, I'm not going to read the whole thing, just a few excerpts. This is from Stanislaw. A couple of the excerpts. The downtown project was originally presented as a community gathering place featuring restaurants, cafes, movie theaters, and adequate parking. Instead, it has been changed to include approximately 360 new residential units. The commercial area was advertised as a destination for high-end retail stores, quality restaurants, and businesses that would enhance the value of our community. Instead, we are seeing fast food restaurants, Tractor Supply, Lowe's, and now Walmart. This is a very different vision from what was presented by Minto when many of us decided to invest our savings and purchase homes in Westlake. So I'll give this to the city clerk and Mr. Palmer's email as well to be entered into the record.
Excellent. No, and the reason is, there's so many people here. If I let you have two comments, we gotta let everybody have two comments, and then we're here till 2 o'clock in the morning, because nobody wants that. I would love to invite the applicant back up. I even have a couple of questions that I forgot. And then I saw you taking notes. I took some too. I probably ran to the restroom, but one of them was timeline, like when would a project be complete? My
So,
question, yeah.
as I told Mr. Warner before, 15 months, we think, sorry.
Start to finish?
Jack Ware. 15 months from when would we start? We'd like to start before the end of the year. Actually commence construction.
From there is
15 months from there would be the clubhouse. 16 months would be the first residential building. We estimate the total lease up will take between 30 and 36 months. So when we're fully leased up, we'll have a pretty good idea where the parking is. Garages. There will be a provision in each lease agreement that the garages cannot be used solely for storage. They must be used for vehicle parking. Where we normally see an issue arise with garages is so-called tandem parking. When you have a garage and then you have a parking space in front, we do not have any tandem parking on this site. So from the garage, you go directly out into the drive aisle there. So professionally managed, the lease will be enforced. Has not been an issue on other properties. Maintenance walks, you're going to have at least 4 maintenance personnel on this site on a constant basis. They walk, they monitor. Elevators. All the 4-story buildings will have elevators. The 2 3-story buildings do not. They are breezeway buildings with stairs. So the rents will be accordingly lower in the 3-story. One of the things I want to note is we have 52 3-bedroom, which is a little higher than normal. And the reason we did that is we anticipate that we will have a higher demand from families who are ultimately going to buy homes here, who may want to lease for a year. And then the other thing is the limit that Don talked about with the equestrian community. We have 3 rooms and 3 baths. So we envision that they will be single individuals who work there on a seasonal basis who will live in these units. Many of those will be transported by shuttle or will carpool, which is one of the reasons we felt more comfortable with the lower parking ratio there. Building 8, the AC units will be screened. The vegetation plan, to the extent that the landscape plans that have been submitted are not consistent with what you've seen, then they'll be amended so that they are. Mr. Palmer, I'm not sure what to do about people who don't want to look at trees. We call those garden units, so. All right, Section 8. So there are two types of what we call Section 8. One is project-based Section 8, which are generally 100% Section 8 voucher holders, not always, sorry, Section 8. Inspected by HUD on an annual basis, and that's basically a line of business there. This is a market rate project. Under fair housing, someone with a Section 8 voucher, we can't deny them access if they qualify on all other criteria, credit, criminal, et cetera, that you need for access to the project. Our experience has been that the number of Section 8 voucher holders who live in these type of things are relatively low because the rents are generally above the amount that can be afforded with the voucher amount and the income amount. You know, anecdotes about $4,500 rents now, I haven't seen that in my experience. So you can't deny it under fair housing, but you know, not that likely. And in the event you do, it'd be relatively limited number. 3 bedrooms I mentioned on parking. The other thing is, remember that the parking ratios in the code are based on 100% occupancy. That is very rare. Usually it's 95%. That would be good. And of course, that frees up a number. So that's why we felt comfortable. The other thing is, from a curb appeal, resident appeal standpoint, we prefer the green space. We'd like to build out those courtyard areas that are highlighted for the contingency parking and do other resident amenities there. So to the extent that we don't have to do parking there, we think that's a win for the project. Security, access control, gated entry. One thing I do want to note on the condition, we're comfortable indicating that we'll do the gates before the L2 site plan is approved. We want the site to be secure. So, you know, we can do the gates there on the west side of the property. Other security will be cameras. And then you'll have fob access on those gates as well. So you'll have cameras, you'll have fob access, and you'll have the gates there. So we won't have manned security unless there's a demonstrated need for it because of crime issues, but you will have high tech. Those are the notes that I have. Don, anything I missed?
No, that was it.
I had a quick question.
Sure.
Do you only do 12-month leases?
No, you can do leases for, we never do less than 7. Most of them are generally going to be 11 to 15 months. There are some variability there because when you're leasing up, you don't want too many leases to expire in the same month. So if you see you're clumping in a month, you want to extend those so that you have a more even flow of expiring leases. We will go as low as 7 months for premium. That's the cutoff because below that you have to pay bed tax. So.
Excellent. Parking enforcement. So I know that at least in commercial areas, it's not easy to tow vehicles. You have to have the right signage posted and things of that nature. If people are parking in the wrong places or on the streets or along where they're not supposed to, will you have the right signs in place to be able, or the right partnership with PBSO or whoever it is to yank the cars out of there?
Yeah, we'll have stripe parking. If there's no striping, I'm assuming there'll be no parking in certain areas with that. If someone violates the parking ordinance, if they're a resident, they're put on notice. If it's a guest of a resident, that resident's put on notice. And if appropriate, we'll contact law enforcement to have a vehicle removed.
Over and over again, you gotta tell them.
Right.
So that, yeah, so AC units, you can call it a garden view. Parking. Can't read my writing room. Okay. Any?
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, please, Mr. Gleason.
As far as the parking is concerned, due to it being a private establishment, you would have to contract out with your own towing company, as according to that's concerned. So do you, PBSO is not just going to come in and tow a abandoned car or vacant, you know, a car that's left. parked illegally. So do you have plans to do that with a private tow company that where your building manager will be able to, your leasing manager will be able to dictate to that tow company and identify those vehicles via a parking permit or something as concerned?
So there won't be assigned parking other than the garages, which removes a headache. You're correct. And we would enter into either an agreement or a standby arrangement with the parking. I mean, I know Crystal Sheehan and her company, but that would be the arrangement that we would make there.
Thank you.
I know it's not ideal, but are you completely opposed to the idea of switching pickleball and maintenance with 1 and 8 and giving her?
So, I mean, we're under a certain timeline with the seller, with Minto. Our civil plans are in. We've already gotten a round of comments there. So, to the extent that we're making change at this stage, it's going to slow us down. So I think that's the trade-off. So we carefully designed the site plan. So the symmetry, so we spread out different amenities in different areas. So the south side has an amenity, the north side, the north already has the dog park and the tot lot there. So that's part of the reason why we had the pickleball court where we did down there as well. So we want to have a balanced site with some symmetry. So that's
And it
why we
moves
designed it.
pickleball away from the clubhouse.
Pardon me?
That would move pickleball away from the clubhouse.
It is away from the clubhouse.
Or move it closer to the clubhouse.
So one side.
If you flipped it.
If you flipped it and put it on the north side.
You would do the east side.
Yeah. Can we throw it up there? Is that possible?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I just want to.
Okay.
So that, just so that we're all like.
Talking about in the corner, right?
Talking about the same thing here.
Talking about one in the corner.
Sorry.
Yeah, and I don't, yeah, there you go. The site plan is right there if you pull it up. Yeah, pickleball is located really where it wants to be. I mean, I think you just would forego the symmetry and move one building.
Can we put it up there?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My apologies here. All right. There you go.
Yeah, so I guess the thought is swapping these two, which I get. moves your
Yeah,
weight
that's a pretty easy move, but
And then swapping these two to maintain the symmetry.
then our distribution of parking changes. So we'd prefer not to on Town Center Parkway, leave pickleball where it is because it's against an entrance. It's really against the right location.
So you would consider moving this to this hard corner?
Well, we would just move it,
Just the parking.
just the parking. That's
So it moves it into the.
it, right? That works. But we'd prefer to keep it the way it is.
Yeah, we don't see a need.
We don't see a need, but
Closer to the road though.
Yes.
and it would be closer to the road. Yeah, oh, it definitely.
You'll lose the buffer.
Right.
Yeah, so we'd be 25 feet off the road there. We'd have to meet the standards.
Sorry, just for the record, Tara Dewey, Lewis Lemon and Walker on behalf of Minto PBLH. I understand the concern, but this just came to us today. And this is a very well thought out plan that considers a lot of planning aspects that has been coordinated through your staff who, as they said, the willingness to try to be amenable. I just want to say it for the record that there's no code basis to request this change at this late stage in the game. So I just want to state that for the record, notwithstanding what Mr. Weir and Mr. Herring agreed to do. I just need to state that for the record. Thanks.
That's fair. Guess I don't have to.
So can I make a comment?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So seeing that, the visual again, at that point, if that building was to switch to the parking lot, that building is right there the view wouldn't be as good. I'd rather have the green space that we currently have at
Yeah.
building 8.
Yeah, it would be on the 25-foot setback line because you can see the parking there pushes. And then we also have to slide this. I mean, I did the design today. This has to pull over to here. And then so that this can move over just slightly. but then the building sits in there and it's on the
Right on the
setback.
road.
It's on the setback. It's at 25 feet as opposed to where you're at with this building.
I mean, it
which
does
is-
look significantly better set back.
Yeah.
All streets and stuff.
Yeah. And again, that was by, we did, when we originally designed it, that was by design to do it that.
We got these.
No, I'm good. I'm watching people's eyes and they're telling thumbs up and get thumbs down. So-
Make sure there's.
Yes.
Maintain that buffer.
I'm for leaving.
So, it's just a garden view.
Yes.
Uh,
I'd rather have the green space.
right, council, discussion, debate.
I'm fine with doing that.
I'd like to see that the attorney work on the wording for conditions 3.
We have to work that out.
Yeah,
That's
Any-
part of your
Any
motion.
opposition in the conditional approval for the parking enforcement not being so fluffy because of the way, like, hard. Is that something we do now, Counselor, or?
I'd like to have confirmation on the record that's acceptable.
So the proposal, Mr. Mayor, is,
Proposal is to
I got not fluffy. but-
remove the language saying
Right.
administrative steps, and make it very clear, decisive, that if the city finds that there's not adequate parking, the applicant agrees to
implement
removing the green
the
space,
contingency plan.
add more parking, and if needed, removing pickleball, which I would hate to see.
Right, so there's the trigger and then there's the determination. So the trigger, I would think, would be some type of resident complaints, more than one, but a number.
A number of complaints in a month.
Right. And then, I would guess the determination would be made by the council.
That's what I'm asking.
I think that'll be fair.
That's.
I think so.
So
Be at a public meeting and require council majority vote.
So, we'll have a pretty good idea by the time the property is leased up. Would the council be agreeable to a time limit of, I don't know, 2 years from when the first building is delivered or something like that?
I'm not opposed to
You
that.
you wait 2 years for the implementation. I mean, after 2 years, that condition goes away?
Yes, if we're fully leased up.
He doesn't know until it's leased.
Right.
So there'll be plenty of parking.
Understood, but he's not gonna have it leased until 3 years down the road. but-
Well, no, from when the building is delivered, Mr. Warner, not from now, or not from when we start. So
When everything's delivered.
From what's
complete.
CO'd.
from
2 years after the final leasing?
2 years after the final CO.
When the first lease is.
So for a period of 24 months, that contingency would exist.
Yes.
Well, he changes, um, Mr. Weir's company could sell the property in 4 or 5 years, somewhere down the road. We're dealing with a new owner, that condition will no longer be there, even though the new owner might have issues there that we might want to resolve.
Can we mandate that? And
What's council's suggestion on how we handle this? Mr. City Attorney.
Respectfully, I think you need to have a definitive period of time that the contingency would burn off. Because you're going to know if you got a problem or not in your first 3 or 4 years. Respectfully, council member, a new owner is not going to create a different parking scenario. The parking's going to remain either in compliance or you're going to have a shortage.
No, but they may have a different management approach. And they may not be as strict as Mr. Weir's company. In terms of what they use the garages for, how many vehicles they can have, or as he indicated, they monitor how many vehicles.
So what are you proposing is indefinite?
Yeah.
So when we have sold the project in the past, it's almost always been to an institutional buyer. It's a larger buyer. They have a professional management company. They're not going to change the rent profile of the property so that you have, an unusual number of residents in any unit. So I think what we're proposing here is basically 2 years after the final CO, which is 2 years. So it's basically a 4-year period. I think that's a reasonable time to determine whether there is an issue with the parking.
So if the company that comes in after you has the same approach to management as your company does, then there shouldn't be a problem.
Right.
And there wouldn't be an issue even if the condition were indefinite.
Right, but one of the things, either on a sale or refinancing, they're gonna ask is, you have this contingency out there, do you need to do a reserve for it or something else? So that's.
We're not looking to be punitive. We're
Right.
just trying to
Right.
protect us and
Right.
help solve an issue.
Right, and I'm in agreement with that. I mean, I think we've talked about a trigger, we talked about a determination and then a time period. I mean, I think it's fair to have a time period after the project is fully leased to say this is working or this is not working. I mean, based on my experience, there'll be plenty of parking at a 1.85, but we did want to respect staff's concerns and put the contingency plan in there, which we did.
And, you know, I don't want to see it all disappear in one shot. Like if it gets triggered, you can't take all the green space and the thing. So now we have to build in layers. One part, one thing goes, you have more spot, another, and that's.
Well,
getting
that's,
too
that's where the
complicated,
determination
right?
comes in and why we think city council is appropriate. Here's the issue, here's what your staff found, here's the remedy we propose.
Can we make it vague in the other way? So instead of all that.
No,
that
sir,
was
we're
in
not
there, make
going
us
vague.
have the flow? City Council gets to choose. And
Respectfully, off the top of my head, what you could consider is if there are complaints that constitutes the trigger, it's going to result in an extension of the agreement.
Does this come back in front of us a second time or no?
No.
No.
I don't hate that idea. I think,
So in other words, it'd be incumbent
right.
on the current owner and the new owner, if you would, to ensure compliance. Otherwise, we get complaints. It's going to trigger an extension for another year or 2 years.
Just really want to.
So compliance
if we need to.
will encourage them to burn it off.
Can we, if that's agreeable, can the actual finite language get worked out at a later time or you need to physically?
I'm going to let Ms. Dewey work on it tonight.
Is
No,
that,
all kidding aside, no, we can,
we can approve it.
you can approve it contingent,
Um,
subject to approval of the city manager, city attorney, and we will keep you informed. I'm not going to do it in a vacuum.
right. It's just the language has to get worked out. It's gonna take an hour, or we don't have it.
Right.
Is
No,
that
this is not the time and place to do it.
agreed? Is that reasonable?
Yeah, generally agreeable.
Okay. Anything else? Someone's gotta make this motion.
I'll just step in real quick to ask another.
Sure.
So on the waiver 3, I had heard the presentation this morning with staff in regards to the bicycles. I do not, now hearing the whole presentation, I don't believe there's gonna be 180 bicycles in this development. So now I have now switched my opinion on the
Yeah,
waiver 3.
I like not oversaturating it with bike racks. You can always add them. But it's a pain to take them away.
Okay, I'm fine with the condition.
Everyone knows I love bicycle racks. Okay.
But 180.
But I am 100% agree that that part of the code is too excessive.
Yeah.
Because it just creates congregating areas and everything else, and it's
Okay, so
public safety perspective.
Does that need to get baked into the motion?
Well, that would be approval of waiver 3.
You'd be granting the
Yes.
waiver.
Yeah.
I would respectfully take up the master site plan issue and then handle the waivers individually.
Okay. I love seeing democracy in action here tonight.
Was this approval?
We're separating this now?
Yeah, so just
Yeah, a lot more adjourned.
Was it MP 2026-01?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to my.
So I'll move approval of MP 2026-01
With.
as presented.
Master
And we-
site plan.
Master site plan, as we will be taking up the waivers individually.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Gleason, seconded by Vice Mayor Langowski. Roll call, Mayor O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilman Werner,
Excuse
It's a nice project.
Excuse me,
Is
is that
it too
with
much?
conditions of approval or how?
We're doing the waivers separately.
We're gonna do those separately.
Too much density for the 18 acres, in my judgment, based on the comprehensive plan parameters, so I vote no.
Councilman Gleason,
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-1.
All right. Now, that was on the
Master site plan.
master site plan, so.
If you would now.
You're recognized, sorry, come on. I want to do this right.
If,
I don't-
if the city attorney agrees, I think there needs to be a separate vote then to approve the L3 site plan, which is also part of the application
I
before
thought
the
that's what we
waivers.
just did.
That was the master site plan, then there's the site plan for L3, then there's the
Okay.
waivers.
Yep, reasonable. Somebody make that.
Before the waivers.
There's L1 in there as well. Does that make a difference?
So it's one application. So whenever L2 comes in, it's going to be a master site plan amendment. It's one application that includes details for L3.
Counselor?
Did you repeat that? I can't hear you.
It is a master site plan, not a site plan. So it's one request that includes L3 as well. Because it's one request, it's one application, and if
So
I would
what
have
you're
been two
saying, we
applications.
don't need to take any further action
Correct. That's what I was asking about the conditions of approval.
because we have one application.
Okay, if that's the case, I would request to clarify the vote that it was also approving the incorporated site plan because we mentioned the master plan, but this says the site plan includes 4 residential.
New motion.
It says the applicant is requesting approval of a site plan for parcel L3. Yeah. So I'm just reading the application. So it mentions both a master site plan and a site plan for parcel L3. And I just want to be clear that the approval is for both. To the extent it's all the same application, I just want it clear for the record that it is inclusive of both.
It is, but we have to amend the conditions. Can you put the conditions on the screen? Without like the card. I need the conditions on it, so that we can pick them up. Site plan, master site plan conditions of them. Recommended by staff. Okay, I should go for that conditions and ultimate rest of the Okay. So it's good. Okay, keep going. Yeah, A is the one that has to get edited.
3A.
3A, so the motion would be to approve site plan contingent on city attorney and applicant's attorney correcting item 3A.
And is there one more after that, or is that the?
No,
No, that's it.
there's no page. There's nothing after this, right? It ends at 4?
Yes.
It's the master site plans.
Yeah,
So when you say.
so somebody say so moved.
I move that we adopt master site plan 2026-01, establishing the overall development of parcel L with the recommended word changes of section 3A and B with our legal attorneys.
And that would include site plan for parcel L3.
Correct. I said parcel L.
Okay. Your motion on the floor.
Second.
Motion and a second.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Leonard, seconded by Councilman Gleason. Roll call, Councilman Werner,
Same reasons as I stated before, the vote is no.
Councilman Gleason,
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski,
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor.
I don't mind the density. Yes.
Motion carries 4-1.
Thank you very much. Okay, now,
We have to do the waivers.
waiver.
Waivers.
No, we have different waivers.
Oh, Three.
Well, and we have to. Oh, no, the waivers is. Okay.
Yeah, we have to.
So we want to make that. Yeah, we like it. We're okay with the waivers.
Well, Councilman Warner was asking about the parking. Part of that.
So the three. Contingency, so that we have. We have new wording for contingency. And we're okay with bikes.
Yes.
I don't know, it's 664, so we can just do this.
Right.
Because we fixed the contingency.
Okay.
Right.
If we approve it, it's with our new contingency, correct?
Right.
Yeah, great.
Somebody, anybody?
I move that we adopt the waiver requests for three waiver requests for off-street parking from 708 spaces to 664. Second waiver to reduce required parking, and third waiver to reduce the required bicycle parking from 180 spaces to 98 spaces.
I'll second.
Motion by Councilwoman Leonard, seconded by Councilman Gleason. Roll call, Councilman Gleason,
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski,
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilman Werner.
No, no.
Motion carries 4-1.
Okay, moving right along. First reading ordinance 2026-08.
Ordinance by title only, an ordinance City Council, City of Westlake, Florida, approving rezone approximately 22.617 acres located within Westlake West, generally west of Seminole Pratt Whitney Road and north of Persimmons Boulevard West, from the mixed use zoning district to residential zoning R2, providing for conflicts, severability, and effective date.
Respectfully, city attorney, we amended this to do B first. So
Correct.
can you read that by title only, please?
Ordinance by title only, an ordinance in City Council, City of Westlake, Florida, specifically amending a portion of the City of Westlake future land use plan map. It's a large scale amendment, changing the future land use designation from downtown mixed use category to residential 2 category on property designated as Westlake West, more particularly described herein, containing 22.617 acres, more or less, providing for conflict, severability, and effective date.
Okay, this was recommended for approval by the LPA, which is us. Do we need the presentation?
I don't need another presentation.
Do we have to do the whole thing again?
No, sir.
Okay,
You just,
I need a motion, right?
correct, you recognize.
Let's go to do it real quick. Want to do it real fast?
It's up to the council.
I'm okay not hearing it again. It's housekeeping.
Ordinance 2026.
Yeah, we're doing B first. Yep.
I move that we adopt ordinance 2026-09, future land use map amendment.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Leonard, seconded by Councilman Werner. Roll call, Councilwoman Leonard,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski,
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilman Werner,
Yes.
Councilman Gleason.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Please read 2026-08 by title only.
Ordinance by title only, an ordinance City Council, City of Westlake, Florida, approving rezoning approximately 22.617 acres located within Westlake West, generally west of Seminole Pratt Whitney Road and north of Persimmons Boulevard West, from the mixed-use MU zoning district to residential R2 zoning district, providing for conflict, severability, and effective date.
Opening up for a public hearing. Madam Clerk, do you have any public comments on 2026-08?
I have no public comment cards, Mayor.
And you want to talk about 2026-08? Seeing none, close public hearing. May I entertain a motion, please?
Make a motion,
Go on.
make a motion to approve ordinance, the first reading of ordinance number 2026-08.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Gleason, seconded by Councilman Werner. Roll call, Vice Mayor Langowski,
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilman Werner,
Yes.
Councilman Gleason.
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Motion carries 5-0. Let's invite fire up. And then we'll invite our deputies up so that they can go back to protecting us and keeping us safe. They've been standing in the back of.
Through bed,
Go to
maybe. I
bed.
don't know. Listen, I was a lot sharper 3 hours ago, so I apologize.
Patient in the back of the room.
Good evening, everybody. It's nice to see you all. And before I give you your regular response time report for the month, I have a little bit of news I need to share.
Promotion.
Yeah. Chief Kennedy has given me an opportunity to serve the community in a little bit of a different role. So I've been promoted to Division Chief of Community Engagement. So I'm not going very far away, though. I'm going to work directly with the district chiefs and throughout the county and helping them strengthen and build the relationships throughout the municipalities with elected officials and community partners and things like that. So I will have direct oversight and I will still be around quite a bit. So
Congratulations, District Chief. yet?
they have not yet. So when they do, I'll be happy to come and introduce that person,
Congratulations
whoever
on
it may
the
be.
promotion.
And thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Still see you.
You will.
I will still see you.
I will be around, definitely.
Okay.
Okay, so for July, we had a total of 56 emergency responses to Westlake. The average dispatch handling time was 41 seconds. The average turnout time was 1 minute. The average travel time was 5 minutes and 54 seconds for an overall average response time of 7 minutes and 35 seconds.
Okay.
Any questions?
Any questions?
I heard you enjoyed Chief Ritter quite a bit. He had
Oh,
a few
yeah.
questions about the airport. It was kind of neat, huh?
Yeah,
He had a
yeah.
field trip and yeah, that's good.
Anything? No? Just thank you for everything you do.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure to serve this community. Thank you.
Well done on the promotion. Should have had cake. All right, let's get deputies up here. And tell us how safe we are this month, please.
I want to bore you all with my stats. How's everybody? Good. Yeah, I hate to see Amanda go. She's a huge asset out here. So it's a big loss, but congratulations. All right, so I'm Brandon West, lieutenant here in Acreage and Westlake, and so I'll be doing a few things. Paul Heckler's off. So for the month of July, we had 1,071 self-initiated stop or checks for businesses and residents. We
How
had
many? I'm sorry.
1,071. So that's up 15 from last month. We average about 1,000 residence checks, business checks. Just when we call out, go into the area, call out like a 1061 we call.
Will you close that door or tell him to stop talking?
So that's normal. That's about 1,000 a month we do. It's just residence business checks. When we go on the radio and we self-initiate stuff. Traffic stops, we had 125, approximately the same as we had last month. And on the traffic stops, we had 21 citations and 76 written warnings. So it's down a couple from last month. So with school starting back Monday, just so you all know, that's going to be an uptick. We'll have more deputies out. We're going to have more deputies come in Monday, Tuesday, as we get back in the flow of things in school. Well, we're actually going to start a little operation plan on traffic as well. So we'll do that between Loxhatch and Westlake. Once school gets back in and we get a couple of weeks under our belt of everybody kind of getting in the flow, really for the safety of the kids. We're going to be doing it with traffic and with our school liaisons. So we'll be doing some of that stuff. I'll kind of keep you updated on that one. So we had one residential burglary. Super blessed with that. It was just a dishwasher taken from a contractor, was in and out of a home.
That'll get found later.
Dishwasher was taken, no cameras to view on that. And then we had another Planet Fitness bike theft over there. That's a couple now, so it's off of Persimmon, 16-8, 61 Persimmon. So I'm gonna go meet with them and the management over there and try to maybe figure out a different plan, something we can do over there. Cause
Please, yeah.
this is back to back, maybe 3 months in a row, we've had bikes taken from there.
Seems like it's a target now.
It is. It's definitely a target rich environment there. Traffic crashes are down from 13 to 5, which is good. So that's a safety thing. So the stats are pretty status quo here. We will be doing some more, like I say, traffic ops, but targeting more of the speeders, especially during school zones and school hours for the mornings and the evenings. All right. So we'll have extra deputies out 6:30 in the mornings on Monday, starting with school, and then we'll have them in for when they get dropped off for the buses as well.
Great.
The great thing about it here is no violent crimes for this year. I mean, I don't have any on the stats and I've been here, which includes robbery, homicide, sexual assault, shootings, and stabbings. The last thing I was going to touch on, I mean, it's been a long night for everybody, but I had something planned that we were going to do tonight, which I was going to get with you on. Our communication center dispatch, they want to come do a little small presentation for everybody here, how they do calls for service, how the calls come in, how the calls go out, which I think would be very educational for people just to get an idea of how we do things.
Please.
It was set up. We had it planned tonight. We had a major tragedy. One of our dispatchers was, you probably saw it, Port St. Lucie was murdered 3 or 4 nights ago. Her son's actually a firefighter. She was actually a friend of mine. I worked with her last week.
Oh my God.
But, and the reason I bring that up, so that's why we did not do the presentation tonight. But Port St. Lucie, but just keep her family in thoughts and prayers. So I appreciate it. Anything for me? Anybody got any questions for me? Not to leave you on the phone.
Sorry for your loss, Deputy.
I appreciate it.
All of our losses.
Yeah, that's a
You guys
tough
have
one.
any-
23 years.
Wow.
Sad, super sad.
so
It was
sorry.
a domestic issue.
Did you want to ask Deputy? No, I think you got to come up. Sorry, just to keep the record clean.
Hi, Alicia Torres, 5847 Whippoorwill Circle. I was just curious, are these bikes locked up at Planet Fitness? How are
It
people?
doesn't say in the report. I'm assuming
No.
unlocked. I'm assuming they're unlocked.
I don't have that part. I go there, but there's no.
No bike racks? Ooh, okay. And then what about cameras? Do you know?
Yeah, they have cameras.
Okay.
There's cameras. But that's something we're gonna address with them about this safety bike racks.
Yeah.
We're leaving them
Well,
outside.
Plaza,
Thank you.
I mean, Publix owns that plaza, so
Yeah.
maybe get with that.
Health clubs been notorious for this too. The
Where?
gyms, the lockers in the gym and stuff, so.
Oh, there's something over
not
there.
Unusual.
Way over there
It's a bike rack
on the side, but not in front of Planet Fitness,
So if
Not
it's
in-
locked up like it typically is.
but it's not in front of.
I'm gonna
Planet
get with
Fitness.
them too and try to come up with some different ideas. So.
Appreciate
too
it.
As well, right?
Thank you,
y'all.
thank you, Deputy. Thank you for everything you do. New business, A for Alpha, approval of the 8th addendum to the Law Enforcement Services Agreement. Mr. City Manager, you want to give us?
Yes, sir, Mr. Vice Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, and members of the council. This item before you tonight is a renewal of Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office agreement. This is the 8th amendment. It increases our compensation from 1.3 million to 110.
Is it,
So one,
was it 3%, 2%?
it's 3%, 3% increase. So compensation will increase for the Palm Beach County Sheriff's contract from 107,395 to 25 to $110,617.00 per month. So that's how much we pay.
I was expecting that. And just for the record, we went several years without an increase at all, which was great.
So staff
very
recommends
standard.
approval of this resolution. So
Staff approves. I need a motion.
Move approval of resolution 2026-17 as recommended by staff.
Second.
Resolution by title only, resolution City Council, City of Westlake, Florida, approving authorizing the mayor to execute the 8th addendum to the law enforcement service agreement between the City of Westlake and Rick L. Bradshaw, Sheriff for Palm Beach County, Florida, providing conflict, severability, and effective date.
Motion by Councilman Werner, seconded by Councilman Gleason. Roll call, Mayor O'Connor.
Absolutely.
Councilman Werner.
Yes.
Councilman Gleason.
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
City Manager, talk to me about 2026-18.
Yeah, really quick, Mr. Mayor, section 218.39 of Florida statute requires local governments to establish an audit committee to assist in selection of an independent certified public accounting firm to perform the city's annual financial audit. The statute requires that an audit committee that consists of 3 members, including 1 member from the city council, who shall serve as the chair of the committee. The statute further provides that the city manager, finance, staff, and other employees of the city will participate only in an advisory capacity. They will not be voting members of this committee. The city currently has an engagement with Berger, Toombs, Elam, Gaines, and Frank. They are certified public accountants. They are currently performing your current FY 25 audit. And we are looking to comply with the new state law, which requires this audit committee be formed. So upon appointment by the city council, the audit committee will review and approve RFPs, evaluate the proposals, and conduct interviews if necessary or appropriate, and recommend a qualified firm to the city council at a future council meeting. Staff anticipates returning to the city council in November 2026 with a recommendation for award based on feedback we received from the audit committee. Staff recommends approval of this resolution.
Let's open up for discussion. I guess, do we have to choose who's going to be the council member?
You can, what I recommend you do is you think about it, and then we put it on the agenda for September
And
1st.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is required by state legislation?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have any other?
Staff is gonna advertise the opening, and are you expecting to get the applications in?
Well, that's,
The other members?
well, we don't have a formal process, but if that's what you want to do, we can definitely do that.
The committee consists of who again?
Uh,
Council member?
One council member serves as the chair, and then it could be more
An
than,
audit committee?
yeah, and then you can appoint an individual from the community, preferably someone that has a background in
It
accounting.
says 4 citizens.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
And
Yeah.
one of us.
right.
Okay. So we're just forming
Just putting it together right now.
Yeah,
We'll
okay.
Fill it in later.
any other discussion or debate? Seeing none, I need a motion.
I'll move approval of resolution 2026-18 as recommended by staff.
Second.
Resolution by title only, a resolution, City Council, City of Westlake, Florida, establishing pursuant to section 218-391 Florida statutes and auditor selection committee, providing for the appointment of 5 members to the Westlake Auditor Selection Committee at a later date, providing for conflicts, severability, and providing for an effective date.
We have a motion by Councilman Werner, seconded by Councilwoman Leonard. Roll call, Councilman Werner,
Yes?
Councilman Gleason,
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski,
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Another committee. Item C, presentation and discussion of red speed school speed zone safety camera program. Red speed school speed zone, that's what it said.
Good evening, Mayor.
Welcome to
Council.
Westlake.
Thank you. It's been an interesting meeting. Appreciate the opportunity here.
You picked a good one that comes here.
Well, it was a good follow from the lieutenant who's talking about school safety. So
Oh,
I
there you
think
go.
the time was
I did
good.
that on purpose, so you know.
Appreciate that. Recognize some folks here, so I appreciate you having us. As the hour is late, we'll jump into the presentation and try and be expeditious.
Name and address.
Just need your name and address for that.
Pardon me?
Name and address.
Oh, Greg Parks, Red Speed, 13000 Laurel Hill, Tallahassee.
Thanks, Greg.
Oh, are you?
Yes, it's you. You click it.
You control it. How do I get it into PowerPoint mode? Here. Yeah, oh. Yeah, we got, thank you. Yeah,
I can switch it. for
would you please? Since we've been here long enough. I'll just start at the beginning, but I will be quick. Okay, I'm Greg Parks with Red Speed. I'm the company's senior vice president. With me is Kevin Milan, who runs our projects. He's a former Miami Beach police officer, so can bring that perspective. Again, we've talked a lot about there's new legislation was passed in 2023. Took about FDOT about a year to promulgate the rules. We now have about 50 customers in the state, so it's starting to get a track record. Same law was in Georgia for 8 years now, where we have 70 customers and a very large sample size on success. So I'll talk about our results here, but the bottom line to senior elected officials, there's no taxpayer expense, which we'll talk about. And we are consistently seeing speeding reduced around 90% in the school zones from implementation. So why the legislature addressed this in 23? Florida, this is no surprise that people that live here, heavy traffic, heavy pedestrian traffic, bicycles. People are moving here that are just learning the roads weekly. And it's a very dangerous area around schools. Speeding's involved in about half the fatalities, both for motorists and pedestrians, and the legislature wanted to do something about that. So House Bill 657 passed in a very bipartisan manner in 2023, about between both houses, 140 to 9 between the House and the Senate as far as votes, which nothing passes in Tallahassee, 140 to 9. So I think that shows the benefit of the safety program. It is enabling legislation. So if we're fortunate enough after tonight, you consider moving forward, you will need to pass an ordinance, as you've done this evening for other items you're familiar with. It's $100 penalty that is much less than a moving violation. If a PBSO deputy wrote the same citation, probably 3 times that. So it's designed to moderate behavior, not be punitive, and it is working. Around 10%, which I'll talk about, get a second ticket, 90% don't. So it is working. There's a great threshold built into the law. You have to go at 11 over the posted limit for the potential of being cited. So it's not a ticky-tacky violation in front of a school during the school day. That's a serious violation.
But you have to go 12 over.
You have to, the law's 10, so you have to go 11.
11.
And actually, we could enforce it 10, or actually PBSO in this case would be doing the actual enforcement. We'd be presenting the evidence to them. But the equipment has a laser or radar has a tolerance of 1 mile per hour. So we put that in there. And it's important to note there's no points or insurance by this either. It is designed to moderate behavior, which it is doing. Due process is built in. We are very data driven. We track everything. So by law, there's so much transparency built into this law that your staff with our assistants has to present to you annually in a public hearing, the safety results, the revenue results it's doing. There's tremendous transparency built into it. And as one of the things we track is the right to a local hearing, which you have. Having these 50 customers, 30 some live now, and again, the Georgia experience, only about 1% are requesting hearings. And my feeling on that, or ours, is that there's no points or insurance. A lot of people are embarrassed to be seating in front of the school, and it's on a video, and it's $100 fine.
Where's that hearing?
The first option to the alleged violator would be a local hearing here at your jurisdiction. Maybe you had a little code violation that now you can hire a special magistrate, and by statute, you can share it with other jurisdictions.
So a hearing here.
Yes, correct. And then if the motorist elects to go to county court, it would be a UTC, and they have the one with Palm Beach County.
I'm sorry to keep interrupting.
No,
The first thing you said, there was no cost to the city. Who's paying for the special magistrate?
and you can assess costs to the violator, or you can pay for it out of program revenue from the fines.
Okay.
So the due process built in, only about 1% are contesting. And it's a very important, which we'll talk a little bit about. I'm going to go quickly, that we are simply gathering the potential evidence and presented it to PBSO for consideration. A PBSO deputy or traffic infraction enforcement officer would have the final up or down if this is a violation, not a private vendor.
Tractor's tired.
Is it on your screen?
That usually looks like that on my screen as well.
Oh,
Next slide.
yeah, what this slide says. Yeah, you guys have the packet, so that slide refers to the safety results I mentioned. We've cited 3 or 4 jurisdictions around the area that have been doing this for over a year and does cite those 90% reductions, less than 10% repeat violator rate.
Is there any kind of LPR built into the cameras that report to the real-time crime center or anything like that, or this is like a standalone system?
No, that capability is certainly there. A lot of jurisdictions are having their own perspectives on that now, so we certainly make it available.
Okay.
Somebody that you guys are very familiar with has one of the leading real-time crime centers in the country.
Yeah,
and we do
it's
feed into
phenomenal.
there.
Yeah, no, anything that keeps our really safe.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Thank you, man. He was talking about me.
I'm familiar with it.
Yes. Yeah, we've been fortunate to Miami Gardens as a customer. We feel very.
Great.
Yeah.
So it looks like possibly this PowerPoint en route somehow got corrupted, but we're good. We can finish it up anyway. I've gone through the basics of it. No cost to your taxpayers. It's going to dramatically improve safety. It can give you investigative tools. In fact, back to that point, in the last month, and I don't know if we told Commander Gleason or this is not in our user group, but Miami-Dade is our largest customer, Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office. It's the largest program in the country. And in the last month, a attempted murder was captured on the school zone camera and led to a confession.
Wow.
And in Leon County, which obviously I'll know is Tallahassee, a murder was captured on our cameras and has played a key piece of evidence as that is being adjudicated. So there are ancillary benefits to you all that would cost your taxpayers a lot, and this is coming at no cost. So around here, in South Florida, there's about 30 users. Miami Gardens being a flagship, Miami-Dade County, Fort Lauderdale is a user. In Palm Beach County, Boca, Delray, Boynton Beach just signed with us. Close, Loxahatchee Groves has had a very successul program. They're in a bit of a hiatus right now.
Not anymore.
They have not handled their engagement with law enforcement probably as well as you all have, but that we appreciate all our customers. So probably because the hour is late, maybe that was God sent.
So contract, you saw that, right?
Yes, I did. And I did appreciate the comments on school safety because we're not a replacement for law enforcement, we're a complement. And it is a force multiplier. We're actually endorsed, this technology and Rentspeed as a vendor is endorsed by Florida Police Chiefs Association for things like that, like force multiplier. It's actually an officer safety improvement too.
What's the revenue share to the city?
It's a great, we should talk about that briefly. It's $100 fine. By statute, that's statutorily broken out. 60 goes to the local government. Then our fee comes out of that. Our fee is $21 for providing everything,
right.
equipment, training, mailing, all of that. And that's the same fee for Miami-Dade with 200 and some schools, Hillsborough with 200, down to 3 or 4 schools. That's just a fair fee that all our fees are the same. Miami Gardens pays that, the same for everybody. That must be used for safety, security, not for your general fund.
Okay.
Now,
That's right.
I
The
work,
biggest expense anyways.
yeah, $1 million I saw, a little more. Good value though. But I worked on this law 3 years. That's why I have a house in Tallahassee right now. And it is a much better breakdown than many other bills in this, that the earmarking for public safety, we think is huge and builds great public acceptance. And a lot of great public safety tools have been funded with that. And I believe a very good argument, is it better for taxpayers to pay who've done nothing wrong, spread that out equally over all your taxpayers, or have some of these needs funded by people breaking the law in front of the school zone, agrees with speeding. $12 goes to the Palm Beach County school system. That of the 100, that must be used for safety, security, transportation, or walking conditions, not their general fund either. So school hardening, SROs, sidewalks. $3 goes to the FDLE training fund, which was broke and it's now very well funded. $5 goes for crossing guard recruitment and retention, a direct benefit from people speeding in the school zone. And then $20 goes to the state of Florida, which again is much less than normally in these. So direct answer, you got to retain 39 of every 100. And your 2 investments in staff time are PBSO review and the few hearings. And again, you can charge cost to those that are guilty at your discretion.
do you think that the whatever, the $40 covers the cost of the special magistrate if somebody does bring that?
Easily.
Really? Okay.
And again, the magistrate, I'm sorry, Counselor, the magistrate, the statute addresses that you can directly pay it out of there, or you can't charge similar to court costs.
I can tell you from experience, if they do bring it to the special magistrate, their mind guard charges an extra like $100 on top of the fee if they're found guilty, and that pays for the magistrate.
Yeah, and statute allows up to $250. That's much more moderate and fair fee.
I don't even think this is the right venue to ask him. I'm just curious. Like that whole right to face your accuser consultation, how does that work out? Because it's reviewed by a deputy, then the deputy has to come to court when you get a speeding ticket elsewhere. How does that factor in? It's the computer that caught you.
Well, that's an excellent question. And I would argue it's not a computer that caught you, but I'll go through that and understand your argument or your question.
I'm just curious.
No, I
how it worked
understand.
out.
First of all, the issue of constitutionality, which is a fair one to raise, has gone to the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals, to the highest court directly below the U.S. Supreme Court, and been found constitutional. Red light cameras, which this is not, but it's photo enforcement, have gone to the Florida Supreme Court and been ruled constitutional. So there's substantial amount of case law. And one thing, we provide our expense because we understand government is our only customer. This is what we do. We're the leader in this, and it's our niche. A very nice municipal law firm that specializes in this, Weiss Sirota, is who we use. They're on retainer with us to defend you, give advice at our expense. And it's an expensive investment for us, but it's the comfort level that our customers deserve. So that's
your camera's solar.
Yes. We did that partly out of greed, admittedly, but our largest time in installation were the power company.
Right. Yeah. I get it.
And here, obviously, you have lots of sun. So yes is the answer.
The end goal is stop speeding in school zones. Period.
And it is doing that. We're in the erotic business, the better we do.
Yeah.
The less we make, but that's our product. Safety is our product.
I like anything that makes Westlake safer. I'm sorry, was there more presentation?
Well, no.
We have a question.
I think that was probably by divine intervention. Nobody wants more PowerPoint anyway. I'm sorry, Vice Mayor.
What do we got?
I had a quick question. So are you familiar with the court case in June from the Broward judge that ruled unconstitutional all speed cameras?
Very much so. Broward magistrate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's particular to one citation.
Okay. And so how do you feel about that?
Extremely confident, as does Weiss Sirota, that all due respect to that magistrate, not judge, to magistrate for that one case. But we are actually, that wasn't even our customer, but we have loaned Weiss Sirota to the jurisdiction and the greater good. And they have appealed that to the 4th DCA.
Okay.
And we're expecting a ruling shortly, which would mean, the wheels of justice move slow, but we're extremely confident. We continue to invest heavily, as do our customers.
How secure is the system? I know there's been LPRs that got hacked. Do you have any issues with that? Have you had any?
No, I can't say out of our 1,000-some cameras out there, we've never had an issue of vandalism, but I know what you're referring to. I'm not gonna mention by name or anything.
I don't want to either.
No. But we're having nothing of that. And actually, we have video cameras, so. And people feel differently about our solution than they do about what you're referencing.
Right.
We're solely there to reduce speeding in school zones. And by statute, it can't be used for surveillance. That's in Florida statute. And I worked on that part of it with the sponsor. Now, it is in there if there's an incident, like these two murder and attempted murder, they can document they wanted to go look at this location at this time and go and look at the video.
Cloud, or is there onboard storage?
We have stored it in a very server farm. We find that more secure.
So what is there, like a 5G chip in every camera?
At least.
Cellular? Do we have any questions?
Yeah, please go to every school zone. A warning to the drivers.
Great question. A lot of that would have been addressed, so I appreciate you asking. The first one, the warnings, signing dated by statute. 500 feet out in front, photo enforcement ahead. Paired with that, which I had some good videos, well, it's in your packet, not a video, but we invest very heavily in a public education and awareness campaign. We have a professional videographer on staff who comes and does a PSA interviewing teachers, parents for your social media, earned media, the media loves this stuff for some reason. We also send flyers home with the kids. We can put banners out. We can do a lot of things like that. And then there's a mandatory 30-day warning period as each school is brought on board. So an alleged violator would get a notice in the mail that say, warning, you were going 11 over, you would be possibly cited for $100 down the road. So there's quite a bit of public education awareness and warning by statute and best practice. And then what was your other question? I'm sorry, sir.
Oh, well, I didn't get to it.
Would it be every school was the
Right, well, you're only covering the school, the zone within the street. I haven't been caught anywhere, but I've been through.
Full disclosure.
And
I haven't either.
and there was one, I think, on Okeechobee that has, it says, it's in effect during school hours and has, or when flashing lights are on. Is that what we would be getting here?
Yeah, the way this is a good question. Thank you. The way this statute's written is it's effective only on days schools in session. That's defined instructional classes taking place. No nights, no weekends, no Saturdays, no summer school now. We're not doing summer school anyway. And then the hours are from a half hour before school through the day to a half hour after, but at 11 over different respective speed limits. So it might be 15 or 20 in the morning. So that'd be 26 or 31 at a minimum. And then during the day, if it goes to 45 on Okeechobee, which I imagine what it is, it'd be 56 or greater during that. And the legislative intent in that, and it mirrors Georgia, who's had this for 8 years. Kids arrive late, leave early, go to lunch, go to sports, go to medicine, and there still is traffic out there. But the minute that 31st minute is over, there's no enforcement possible.
Okay, so based on your experience and practice, you have a time element that is active. But is there anything on the street? Like I said, I think it's on Okeechobee, it has flashing yellow lights and it says speed limit reduced to whatever it is, 20 miles
Right.
when the lights are flashing. Is that something you do too?
Yeah, those are mandatory by statute.
Oh, so the lights are mandatory.
The lights are not the signs stating that, but virtually all school zones in Florida do have flashing lights. And do yours, do you know?
But actually,
I can't picture it.
I don't.
We have.
Yes, they do.
They do.
Yes, they do. Yes.
We do.
Most do, I know. I don't know yours, but
It's a decision that's made jointly.
Well, we're talking about,
Seminole Prep, yeah, Seminole, yeah, they have.
now I would say if there are any school zones you do and there aren't any, we'd be happy to work with the city to try and make sure those are in place.
Then the other thing is I'm driving through one in Wellington. It comes through on my GPS. Is that, do you set that up?
No, the like Waze does or whatever, but we love that. We want less speeding violations. We're supportive of that, but we don't do that as a vendor. I think
How do you do that?
I think Waze does that or the different GPS companies.
Reports it.
Yeah, Apple Maps, Google Maps, but we are supportive of that. We want the word out there.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there an if the system obviously makes an error, which happens?
Sure, anything
There's
can
been not a snow day in Florida, but it's a snow day.
Well, weather day.
It's supposed to be school and there's not, and the system makes an error. Is there an administrative way for it to go away versus us paying the magistrate and we don't have space is our issue. We don't have space for hearings and all that.
Well,
And I don't want the inconvenience to the constituent.
No.
who obviously wasn't speaking.
Nor do we, because they'll call you, then you guys call us.
Right, so is there like an easy way to? send a-
Absolutely. And we've had it in practice now for about 10 years between both states. So,
You guys made a mistake.
yeah, and stuff does happen, but I feel like we have very good processes in place. So each alleged violation, which I would have shown you in the disappearing PowerPoint, is reviewed by 2 humans at red speed, quality checks for what you just talked about. Then it goes to PBSO for a final review. So 3 humans are looking at it before it is printed and mailed. So we have all those chances to catch it. We also have developed a lot of best practices and policies over the years. And Kevin's a great project manager. He or his team, who he assigns it to, would have a single point of contact here. Hey, school's out that day. They live here. that when there was a weather day. So we cut our teeth in Georgia during COVID. So virtual days were all the time. So we could get our robo list that a lot of great school systems have now, and we'll know ahead of time. So odds are real good. We'll know ahead of time. If we don't catch it ahead of time, 2 humans should know when they're reviewing it. Then PBSO. And if the rounding error gets through, it is simple. The alleged violator calls, hey, school was out. You're right. We apologize. You'll get a letter of apology.
For that, that was my question. There's a way for them to call.
We have to set up an 800 number,
That's what I was.
that our personnel man, in order to handle any questions, complaints, concerns, whatever comes up.
No, and good point, Kevin. We do all the customer service as part of our fee. There's a dedicated 800 number that would be answered. Westlake School Zone Safety Program would know all your rules, policies, can help schedule adjudication, et cetera.
And I know the mayor had touched on it earlier, Ms. Parks, but can you also explain what your company does per speed camera that we put up? We also get an LPR camera that we.
Yeah, one per speed camera, yes, 2 per school zone to be put the make, model, brand of your choice and to be put, yes, definitely. And to be placed anywhere you want. The idea originally that was thought of in Georgia, because parents love the idea of knowing a bad guy was in the school zone during the school day. But a lot of jurisdictions say we have coverage there. We have a much greater need that we don't want to fund that technology for somewhere else. So that's exactly as Commander Councilman Gleason said, that if you looked at 5 schools for easy math, you'd have 10 plate readers at our expense to do with it as you all choose, that you don't have to fund.
Very cool. Any discussion by us? Anything that makes this public safety, you know, for me is number one above everything else. So I'm highly in favor.
And the
And the freebie LPR is a home run.
the magistrate, you said you could team up with local.
Yeah, but that's actually directly addressed to the statute, so it's not dual office holder in that
Westlake
thing.
already has.
Oh, we do have a magistrate?
Yes.
Okay, we're good then.
And the last thing I would, then I'll answer any questions. I know that the hour is very late. I think one thing you had asked, Councilman, is would it be in every school zone or how those shows? Your next step, if you choose to move forward, would be the passing of the ordinance. And again, there's great transparency in this law. You actually have to name those school zones in your ordinance. And you are attesting there's a heightened safety risk at these schools that merit this additional enforcement tool. So that would probably, PBSO has been a great supporter of us. Of technology in general, and we've had good partnership with them. So they probably know that stuff already, but that would be the next step in the process of where they'd go.
Cool. Presentation and discussion. So this isn't.
It's not a vote.
This is
It's
not
not a
official
vote.
action,
No.
just council direction. So I think you have consensus there.
Well, we need to form a motion up and.
Do you want a motion?
Yes, please. And
Okay.
what do you-
No, it's not shown for action.
Yeah, that's
We
what.
get- we- Presentation,
Presentation.
so motion would be
Oh, oh.
inappropriate. But we get a consensus to move forward and bring back
That's what I
Okay.
thought.
Yes.
the
Yeah,
idea.
we-
Yeah, you have consensus, and we can bring it back for a formal. vote
Okay.
To adopt the actual. is it
Ordinance and.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you'd
a
like, we can
piggyback
supply
contract.
from other jurisdictions ordinance for your review or whatever we can do to help.
Yeah,
If you would.
I
See that one?
appreciate it, and I think.
No, we appreciate your
Great
time.
product. You guys publicly traded?
No.
So, yes. I'm curious. All right, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you all for your time. Appreciate
I'll
it.
make a final comment if I can.
Sure.
Not only do we share the same name, we're wearing the same exact shoes. Which is really uncommon. I never see them everywhere.
Well, it shows obviously, it shows I have good taste. So, thank you all very much. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Amazing. Thanks, guys. Well, very good. See, City of Westlake's about to get a lot safer. Don't speed through the school zones. If you do, only go 9 over. What's next? Video initiative?
No, strategic plan update.
Strategic plan update. City manager.
And Mayor, I'll be brief. If we can just go to the next slide here. As you know, back in 2025, you guys met during a strategic planning work retreat and you were able to develop a strategic plan. That plan, I was able to get from the clerk's office. I've been reviewing it here for the last couple of months since I've been on board. And what I've done is this is what I've looked at your goals And I've kind of put it in this chart and tried to organize kind of where I thought you were at or are at. And so collaborating with Mento, that was one of your strategic goals. And so we meet with Mento every second Monday to, go over and coordinate with the development projects and that kind of thing. That's ongoing. That's been going on. Westlake app, you guys created an app. I believe it's 100% complete. I have it on my iPhone right now and I've used it. City Hall, this is an area that was kind of broad because this goal was really about finding temporary location or site. Wasn't about developing a city hall, but I think this is one of the areas that we could make some changes to make it more comprehensive,
Okay.
And then public safety tech, so technology. So what we did there, you just did tonight. You got a presentation, and so you've given staff direction on bringing something back and moving forward with it. And then road interconnectivity. This is one that I struggled with, but I later learned after speaking with a few of you that this is about the bigger picture here. And so I think that needs to, be elevated and become more of a priority. And then Future City Park, you guys got $600,000 from the state legislative session, this past state legislative session. And I think we're moving. We had a joint meeting with Seminole Improvement District and we're there. So this is kind of where I at. The percentages are what I created. They could be adjusted. There's no editorial license on it or accuracy. It's really just a
Thank you
guideline.
for that strategic plan update. Do we have any discussion on that item by the council?
We're almost finished with all of these. We need to come up with more. What can we accomplish in the next year?
I'd say additional ways to communicate, better communication with our constituents, better informing them of better ways to communicate.
Charter review.
Great.
Well,
Okay.
we're gonna.
We just formed an audit review committee.
Charter review.
Charter Review Committee.
Okay, we can take Westlake app off. Because that's completed.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Westlake app can still get better. There's an optional option that's not enabled, that if there's a street light, for instance, that's out,
Mhm.
the user should be able to click it, be like, here it is, and it reports it to staff. They
Okay.
can send it right to Bobby.
Well, we can,
So-
There's
ways to improve the app.
no, I agree. And, but we have the app now.
We did, yeah.
So now.
Yeah, it took me 5 years to get that.
Well, we will definitely, update the app to make that happen.
To get off, safety tech
Yep.
just got done.
Yep, that can come off. And then we can add a charter review committee.
The Charter Committee, that's a good idea, Eric.
Discussion about a charter,
Discussion about a charter review. All right. So,
details,
How about oversight on our finances? Better oversight.
Well, we created an audit committee tonight.
yeah,
That's
so,
the Definition of oversight.
Understood, but
That's
there's
just
more
within
than
the
that. So I'm talking about more of a monthly oversight, weekly oversight. Maybe a finance committee.
Vice Mayor, you recognized?
Okay, so I had a meeting with Mr. Brown this morning and I suggested we have a workshop to discuss a charter review. Updating this, we don't need to bring Dale Sugarman back in.
No.
But we can
Definitely.
work as a group for like 2 hours, work on some issues and talk about timelines and ideas. And I thought that might be a better shift to. spend
Yeah,
some
we're
time
not,
on
we don't
that.
have to iron anything out,
Right.
Right.
And not at a meeting, we can bring it back to a meeting,
Right.
but at
Right.
least we can chat.
I'm good with that.
So
Okay.
maybe we
Beautiful.
just call it a strategic planning workshop, refresher, update, whatever.
September 1st, October.
Yeah, find out when we can get the lodge again.
Have staff work with us later. We're not gonna figure it out right.
Okay, same day of the council meeting? No.
We have to have the lodge space available.
Right, so like an hour before,
Okay, all right,
and staff can work with us on that
okay,
individually at a later time. Great,
all right.
moving on. We have a Westlake Video Initiative.
Yeah, this is a follow-up from our last meeting. As you know, we were given direction to enter into an agreement, I believe, with this company. I believe it started with the vice mayor before I arrived, and I think it was Councilman Warner who brought it back to the center front. So what we're asking is that you approve this agreement, that way I can execute and get it going. It doesn't cost us any money, but it wasn't clear direction the last time we discussed this, so.
Oh, wait, I think city attorney had some reservations about it last time.
Those have been resolved.
Okay, I'm in favor of it if those issues have been resolved.
Yes.
We need one more for consensus.
Consensus, yeah.
All right, good. You have your consensus. Yeah,
I'm good with it. Okay.
All right.
All right.
What else? Education Advisory Board appointment. City Clerk's Office, and this is by resolution. Do we have a person?
No,
No.
so we have to do annually.
So
This is a
reappoint-
housekeeping matter to reappoint all the board members for the Education Advisory Board.
Does this need to be read by title or just,
Yes, sir.
please do so?
Resolution, City Council, City of Westlake, Florida, appointing 5 members, 1 alternate member to serve on the Educational Advisory Board, provide for conflict, severability, and effective date.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Werner, seconded by Vice Mayor Langowski. Roll call, Councilman Gleason,
Yes.
Councilwoman Leonard,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Werner.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Our arts and public places, Madam Clerk, is this the same housekeeping item?
This is the same housekeeping. item.
City Attorney, please read by title.
Resolution by title only, resolution, City Council, City of Westlake, Florida, appointing 5 members, 2 alternate members, and 1 non-voting high school student to serve on the Art and Public Places Advisory Board, providing for conflict, severability, and effective date.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Vice Mayor Langowski,
Second.
seconded by Gary Warner, roll call vote.
Discussion.
Oh, sure, discussion?
I'd like to do a little shuffling around there and suggest that Tim Lanza be the chairman.
You don't do that. The committee has to do that.
We can recommend.
Committee chooses their chair, no?
That's correct.
Committee chooses their chair.
All right. Yeah,
But,
make sure you talk to your committee.
While they're meeting, we're scheduling a meeting, they're meeting, I suggest they work that out.
Okay. All right, call for the vote.
I did.
Motion by Vice Mayor Langowski, seconded by Councilman Werner. Roll call. Councilman Leonard,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langowski.
Yes.
Mayor O'Connor,
Yes.
Councilman Werner,
Yes.
Councilman Gleason.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Councilman Leonard, you got comments?
No comments. Mayor.
Councilman Gleason?
Thank you for the long night together. That's all I got.
Councilman Werner?
Just ready to go home.
Mr. Vice Mayor?
No, I'm good.
I just want to thank everybody for coming and participating, and thank you. Staff reports, we did public safety, city attorney,
No, sir.
Mr. City Manager.
No, Mr. Mayor.
Public comments. This section of the agenda allows for comments from the public to speak. You've got 3 minutes and only 3 minutes. Do we have any public comment cards?
You have no public comment cards, Mayor.
I see a hand up. Please state your name and address for the record. You have not a second over 3 minutes.
I'm the same person that was here before. Stormy Bevan 16100. Key Biscayne Lane. A little tired. I would just like direction, who is my point of contact to the Blue Star Memorial?
City Manager.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Just wanted to know. Thank you.
Do you have any other? She's not yielding her time. Any other public comments? Seeing none, I'm adjourning at 9:52 p.m.